How Bizarre is intended for mature, open-minded audiences only. If you are easily offended, we suggest you turn this wacky shit straight off.
I've got some things on my phone, notes for the show, but I'm sitting on my couch and I was like, oh, I need a piece of paper to write some things down for the show too. And I just grabbed like some of my kids' colorings and like flip them over, because they're every day. But it reminded me of two things. First off, a kid came home the other day with a turkey, like a turkey with a bunch of feathers, and on each feather was something he was really grateful for. And it was like something he did at daycare. It was really sweet, right?
Sure.
But and thankfully, mom and dad both made it on there at the fucking end. First thing, watermelon. First fucking thing he's thankful for. Second thing, pizza. I'm like, and I'm sure the last two were like daycare going, maybe you should put mom and dad on there too, bro. And he was like, fine.
Well, looks like I'm running out of room.
Mm-hmm.
Watermelon takes up a lot of space. Yeah.
Yeah, I like pizza too.
You like what?
I like pizza too. Very thick pizza.
I'd probably prioritize things that way.
I wanted to share a story with you guys about road rage today. And this is
a good road rage tale.
I know you do.
Scary times right now, though.
You're kind of a road rager, aren't you? Though
me,
like secretly, yeah.
Which one,
Chris?
I didn't think I was, but yeah, I think I fucking am. And let me tell you what happened.
It surprises me, but let's hear.
I'm not a violent person, but I want to be right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see here. So this is important because actually we have a road rage related question and weird trip today. But I was driving home yesterday and it's raining like a motherfucker. It's dark now when I leave work. I was on a fucking freeway, not a highway, mind you, but I was on a highway, not a freeway. So it was like the smaller of the two. Do I have that right? Is that backwards?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Small. Highways usually lesser speeds, fewer lanes. Yeah, not always, but
55 miles per hour.
Mm-hmm.
And a 2-lane road on each side with a divider and everything. So, we have our own street. And it's a lot. There are curves and some hills and valleys on this highway. And I'm driving along. I'm probably going 60, 5 over. And I see all the cars in front of me just slam on their brakes and swerve. And I'm like, whoa. And I'm really glad I saw that and was paying attention. So I started to brake then. And right then, as the car swerved, I saw what was coming at me. It was a motherfucking guy on a skateboard. Coming into oncoming traffic.
Hey, you can legally shoot those. When you've been following the Rittenhouse. Sorry.
He was in my lane. He swerved into my lane. I slammed on my brakes and swerved. I went from 60 to 0 real fast. And as he swerved past my car, he goes, woo! And I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? And I started going again because it's fast road, lots of cars coming. And as I was going, I was like, I want to kill that guy. I will get out and kill that guy.
I'm going to go back.
Want to fucking kill him.
Make this right.
It was the woo. It was the woo that got me, guys.
Woo, bro. Having a time of my life.
Almost killed this guy. So and almost wish I would have.
Was it a normal skateboard or was it one of those electric skateboards?
It happened so fucking fast, I couldn't tell. It seemed like it might have been a longboard or something. He was coming down off a hill, so he had a little bit of speed, Was
he coming toward you?
Yes, head on into traffic.
Did it seem like he was out of control a little bit or just being a dickhead?
Yeah. He was going so fast, his swerves, like he swerved into traffic.
Okay.
I think he was coming down the shoulder of the highway, which is fucking weird. I've never seen that. I drive this road 10 years to work, and I've never seen anyone walking. It's like not.
That's usually rough, too.
It's not even like there's not enough sidewalk really there to do that. It was just weird. Man, it was wild. So anyways, had to share. Almost killed the dude. Wish I would have.
There's things called boosted boards. And but
those fuckers are fast. They can be.
Oh, God, dude, they're super fast.
I saw a guy trucking up Grant Road going uphill. He was doing he had to have been close to the speed limit, which is 40.
I think they top out about 30 something. So it could have been like 35. I think they top out. This was super fast.
No helmet, just flying uphill.
Yeah, you got a little remote control.
Dude, we would have been all over that shit.
Can you imagine not having to pedal our asses? I mean, we skated because we wanted to skate, but just like getting around. You remember how much of a drag that was? Just like, I want to go down the mall and look at chicks, but I want to walk.
Kids these days, they don't even know. When you wanted to go to the Wenatchee Mall and you had to skateboard, that was 8 miles. You had to skateboard.
And Nana and Papa weren't over to visit to drop you off in their Granada. Too specific.
I forget you guys weren't in Wenatchee proper growing up, were you?
No, over in East Wenatchee, it felt, it really did feel disconnected. I mean, I think it still is to some degree for kids and for schools, but not like it was. We over here at Eastmont, we looked at sort of like the Wenatchee high schoolers as just like the others on Lost, just like,
what?
Like we never saw
How many
them.
miles is it from your house, Ron, to the bridge?
2.
2
well,
miles.
it's 2 miles from my house to Wenatchee proper. It was
so probably a mile and a half,
it
right?
was like 3 miles from here to Radar Station, which was downtown in Wenatchee.
Okay. Oh wow, it's further than I imagined. For some, I haven't walked.
About 7-minute drive on a good day. But when you didn't drive, now we were over in. I don't want to make it sound like we were never in Wenatchee, and we skated. We would skate. I know this doesn't mean anything for people who don't live here, but it must have. Well, it was a 10-mile loop because that's what the loop trail is. Before there was a loop trail around the Columbia River here, we would skateboard down 3rd Street and we'd fuck around at the mall. Then we'd skate over the walking bridge all through town. We'd skate all the way north of where Walmart is now and the theater. At Old Station Bridge on the other end of town and skate all the way down Sunset Highway to get home. That sounds insane to me now, but that's what we did. Yeah. It was all day, I mean, we were rock hard young men, tan, as you can imagine, and not an ounce of fat on us, and no fucking mystery why.
Die hard stamina. Yeah.
It's so weird today. For the first time, I've been working out in Kashmir, which is about 7 miles outside of Wenatchee. But it's a highway to get there. And I've been having so many. I don't road rage. I'm not the road ragey type. I do have to fight the occasional, being a fuckery. But
I believe you have video of road rage, sir. I believe we've played it on the show.
Hey, listen, I told you that story, man. That guy was just, for no fucking reason, just brake checking me the entire way to Fred Meyer.
Yep.
I got the tail end of it, which was like this fucking teddy bear of an old man walking up in a sweater. I'm calling the sheriff. Yeah, I played that early on this year, but I was not road raging until he brake checked me for a mile and a half and then and then parked in the middle of the road to get into Fred Meyer and got out of his car so nobody could go. It wasn't just not me that could go. The entire line of cars trying to get in the grocery store were stopped, and here comes this dumb old fuck to chastise me that he phoned the sheriff, as you do in 2020. I've phoned the sheriff.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was. But listen. Even then, I went out of my way I started filming it because I was like, if this motherfucker like causes a wreck, I do need to get a dash cam. We should all be driving around with dash cams, just for insurance and safety purposes. But so that's the only reason I pulled my phone out and started filming it. And it was like I wasn't fucking with him. I was just trying to drive. It was the simplest fucking chore. And this when people just, for no goddamn reason, they just single you out. That's what drives me crazy. That's and it's just trolling. I mean, they're just trolls. We see this online. We see this in political chats. We see it everywhere. It's just people going out of their way to fuck with you. Why they singled you out? Who knows? Maybe there's something cosmic to it, and they just don't. Like there's a polarizing thing when they get it in your immediate circle. Maybe they just don't like the cut of your jib. Maybe they legitimately thought you cut them off when you didn't, or you did intentionally do something. Who the fuck knows? But I go extra out of my way to avoid confrontation now.
Extra.
Everyone's fucking nuts right now.
It's fucking true.
And we don't know who's gonna just snap at any time. between,
damn, dude.
I mean, it's always been polarized, but right now people are legitimately, I think we talked about this recently. It's like everyone's sort of pegged in the dark yellow. So there's nowhere to go except deep red at this point. There's no cushion. We usually have a bit of a cushion when it comes to that strenuous. If my, we have so many buttons that can be pushed before we snap. Now we're basically, the bulk of the population seems to be that one punch away from collecting their their free ass kick of the month. If you feel me. And but that could be somebody fucking with you in the car. It could be someone following you home and shooting your ass. People are losing their shit. We've seen what people are willing to do just to pour like Walmart door workers because they were politely asked to put on a mask like everyone else. We've seen what people are willing to do for their political beliefs. Earlier on this year, there was some crazy shit going on with that. Everybody's getting ramped up by fucking CNN and Fox News, and everybody is being manipulated because that sells advertising. But what those people aren't taking into consideration is that ultimately they are going to have to live in this nightmarish country that they are creating. This thing about all of these puppeteers, whether that's politicians or people in the media who are purposefully like poking everybody with a stick to keep the division up, to keep people tuned in, to keep people glued to the TV. Jesus Christ, is there anything more depressing than people that just leave it on news networks like all day long, like my grandpa used to do? What a weird headspace that puts you in. But those people, they're cashing that checks, and it's like, live high on the hog now, buddy, because you are creating a nightmare scenario, and you are going to have to exist in this world. And they may be coming for you next, or first, for that matter. We spend way too much time rioting in the poor parts of town. Why don't we start rioting where the rich people live, motherfuckers?
Yeah,
let's get smart about this. Go ahead, Lau.
Well, I was looking on the MSN website this morning, and just it caught it out of the corner of my eye, but it was about vaccines and which booster shot are you going to get? Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah, well, it never stops.
Flu season's coming, and you're going to have another shot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're saying that the definition of fully vaccinated is going to change to include a booster shot.
I was just talking about this last night because I was out at an event. I had
just scheduled mine I'm going to do it in a couple weeks at work. We have a...
yeah. I mean, saw it coming.
I get it.
And at the same time, it's just like, it'll be interesting to see if... I could see it going either way because at this point, so many people have... if only begrudgingly relented and gotten fully vaccinated. So I wonder how many people will see this as a bridge too far. It's like, no, we're putting our foots down. We went We went along up till now, but no, motherfucker. Versus, fuck it, what's one more at this point? It's the same shot. It's just more of it. They don't change anything as far as I know. Maybe they will for...
Actually, it's actually a half shot.
It's not even the full one, huh?
It's just a half shot, yeah.
Keep it in your system so you at least have it in your system.
I think that's the idea without completely taxing you with maybe another I haven't heard many people complaining about this booster shot. Like a lot of people got the second one and had sort of a day or maybe a day and a half of like flu-y feelings. I haven't heard many people complaining about the booster. Maybe that's why. But either way, it's a philosophical thing, and that alone is going to keep us in that state of aggression for a while. It sucks.
It sucks that's how we feel every time we go and do something fun right now. Do you feel that way? Like anytime I've gone out and done something, I'm like, well, probably got the vid.
Yeah,
cool.
When there's people, it's interesting. When I'm going out and like sitting down at the market, I'm pretty much off in a corner by myself, and the only people that usually get up and close to me are the waiting staff, and they're wearing masks. So I feel pretty well, even though I've been out and about. That's been as bold as I've gotten for the most part. I haven't gone to like clubs, haven't gone to any bar shows. I did just go to see a movie in the movie theater for the first time.
How'd that feel?
And I got close to 3 fucking years. It felt pretty great, actually.
Awesome.
And it was a small crowd, and it was a pretty quiet crowd. There was one lady that did start coughing, but she was facing the screen. But I kept thinking, yeah, well, that's how it could be too. But you know, we you just kind of kept your mask on and kept your face forward. We purposely sat all the way in the back row so that no one could be practically coughing in our direction. But we saw, Sarah and I went and saw the new Wes Anderson film. Can never remember the name of his fucking movies, man. The French Dispatch. And
How was it?
It was great. I love Wes Anderson. Well, it was good. Here's the thing that I was noticing in my thought process on the drive home. Like, I always really like Wes Anderson's film, but there's something in me that always wants them to just be a little bit better. and I don't know how to put my finger on it. It's just there's a culture that he has developed, and I appreciate that. And there's a color palette, very famous color palette that he works with, a look, a shtick, a feel, the way he uses music, the way he breaks things up. A lot of them play out like an anthology. This one was exactly an anthology, you know, a series of 5 or 6 little vignettes all tied together by a newspaper. It was great, but there were there's always just a little bit of me left wanting with his movies. And I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing, because do we really want to be spoon-fed? Because that can be shitty too, you know, in a more traditional Hollywood sense. And I will always prefer going to see, even if I don't love the movie, I will always prefer and appreciate the effort of the cinema auteur, because there are only a handful of them. You know, who else, like Tarantino, you know, talking about people that write their own movies, direct their own movies. They're in it to make their movies. They're not, you know, it's not like a Peter Jackson who will pick up this franchise or make this movie, or like a lot of filmmakers are. They are auteurs. They are making their own art. They're bringing their own visions to life. There are only so many of those that have even been allowed to play in Hollywood, and Wes Anderson's one of them. And I love it just on that level alone. But I haven't seen movie previews in like for fucking ever. And I didn't even know this was a thing. Maybe it's come up on this show and I just don't fucking retain anything. But there's a new Matrix movie. And
yeah, 4.
I saw the trailer of it, and the trailer was pretty fucking... I was in.
Really?
You know,
see, I've seen the trailer and I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. It doesn't look
I didn't understand what was
to me.
happening in the fucking movie half the time, if I'm being honest. Especially
fair.
the second and third ones.
Yeah.
But I get you. I feel you. And I'm skeptical because, but you know, it is Lana Wachowski back in the saddle, and a lot of the recurring. But there's something about it, and it could be the magic of just sitting in a dark theater again for the first time. So loud. It was such a loud, heavy, what's the word? Like thunderous, powerful trailer set to a sort of I mean, it's definitely the original track, Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit, which is on the nose as that is for that story. It really worked. I don't know. I was in. So I'm kind of, and then I always get a little giddy seeing Keanu, you know, it's just like, and that was one of his Keanu. Seminal roles. I mean, that was the role outside of the one that he'll never live down, which I'm so thankful. I still haven't seen the new Bill and Ted. Have you guys?
Either. No. I've heard it's subpar.
I want to.
How could it not be subpar? But,
yeah, that's fair.
I want to see a Constantine too.
Yeah,
awesome.
I want to see a Marvel. I want to see the Marvel universe version. You know, because isn't it a Marvel entity? Am I wrong? I might be wrong.
I don't know.
Boy, I bet John Mark would know. Yeah, but I don't remember which.
Well, even a Haggard version, you know, like a Haggard version of Keanu would still fit the bill.
And he does look kind of haggard in this. You know, they didn't clean him up to be the original, you know, Nemo. It was
Nemo.
Nemo. Little Nemo. Now there's your mashup right there. Finding Neo. If someone has not done a Finding Neo mashup, I bet they have. You can't have an original thought these days. But he just looks like Keanu right off the shelf these days.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he's fresh out of a convention where he's
did you see what he looked like shaved did you see what he looked like shaved in Bill and Ted? At least in a picture. Woof. It's not a good look anymore for him, I don't think.
Well, maybe that's why he's rocked the beard. Mm-hmm.
I mean, like we all get older and look a little bit more doughy, and you know, our chins aren't quite the definition isn't
I've actually lost 10 pounds.
Hey, congrats, man.
Since Sarah moved out. She's no longer me. You know, I've talked about it on the show, I'm sure, many times.
Yeah.
Well, I've stopped eating good food that
Mhm.
was like made, you know, she takes the time to like cook shit. I don't do that unless I'm cooking for other people these days. I need to change that. It's actually on my list of things to change, is to just sit down and have myself a nice home cooked meal. I deserve it as much as anybody else. And if I got time to do it for other people when I want to do it, I got time to do it for myself.
No kidding. That's what I was just gonna say. You're a great cook. I've enjoyed your meals many a time, but they are usually like, you know, crowd pleasers. Like you're making for a group.
Fish sticks.
Oh, I do not like fish dicks. The Kanye West thing. Well, speaking of food, good segue for at least a teaser to where I'm going tonight. It is our Thanksgiving show, you know. So I had to. It would not be the same if I didn't bring a whole pile of Tomfoodery. So I'm going to be regaling you with a whole bunch of fun, freaky, and in some cases filthy food facts.
I was going to say real quick before you get into that is
you guys got some time to talk.
Well, a lot of the tricks into getting back into cooking and stuff, and it's something I've learned, is that you just needed to plan ahead. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to make a steak and potatoes, you know, throw another steak on, cook it, and then leftovers, you could make like steak fajitas or something out of it. You just need to learn how to cook more, but then, you know, utilize your food a little bit better.
Well, it's so crazy because I used to have one of my favorite rituals used to be listening to jazz or classical records on a Sunday afternoon and prepping, like, if not my whole week, at least the bulk of my week.
Like food prep.
I used to build like entire salad bars in these Tupperware. I had these big Tupperware bins and then little tiny compartments of Tupperware inside them with like your chopped carrots, your sliced olives, your cubed ham, your salad toppings. And I would just eat a salad for lunch every day. And then I'd cook a couple of meals, maybe some Irish stew, or make some like barbacoa beef that I'd have on tacos or part of the salad for the rest of the week. I used to love doing that. I just need to get back into it. But you know what I need to do before I'm really going to be interested in cooking again? I need to throw out all of my old dilapidated, mismatched pots and pans, all of my knives. I need to just start from scratch with new, exciting, sexy cookware. Because let's be honest, there's nothing like cooking in a nice clean kitchen when you got nice new utensils and pots and pans. It's like it calls to you. It's like, I'm gonna fucking chop some shit and saute some shit, and then eat the shit that I sauteed.
You're inspiring the shit out of me, and this is something I've been needing to do as well because I've been doing a lot of easy dumb meals.
Let's go to Bed Bath and Beyond, bitch. Let's go shop.
Well, I think why don't we do a little bro ham challenge? Let's try to make one cool new thing every week, and we can report back and see how we did.
All right, I got a few things on my list that I haven't made in a long time, and one of them is that my barbacoa beef. Yeah, it's good. I make a lazy version of it. I've been making lazy versions of all of my favorite food. It's like if I can whip this up and put it in the pressure cooker. The pressure cooker's amazing, but it has lazied me up. And I'm going to go back to the slow cooker, which takes more time. But there's something about knowing, okay, well, I'm in this for 8 hours, that you're going to take more time with the prep work. You're going to take more time with your sauce. You're going to take more time. If you got a roast that can be done in 45 minutes in the pressure cooker, you're just going to toss in some seasonings, salt it. You know, it's a different thing. It's just I've weaned myself off of like really deep, proper, sexy cooking, and I need to get back onto it. Climb back in that sack. But first things first, I know myself, and I'm broke as shit right now. But as soon as I have a little bit of money in the coffers, I am going to buy. And you don't need a whole fucking. I have learned you definitely only need like 1 or 2 really good pans. And then a couple of good knives, and everything else you can kind of get by with just a more generic version of it. But there are some tools that you just have to have in pristine working order. And as soon as it's no longer working right, it's time to get new ones. So
for me, it's knives. It's always cutlery.
My mom got me a pretty nifty little sharpener, and it does all right. But there's just nothing that will compare to the getting you a factory sharpened knife, especially a decent quality one. John Mark's going to join us in 15 minutes. So anything you guys want to shoot the shit about, any news stories, now's the time to do it before I get into my tomfoodery pile. Actually, before you do, I did want to mention, because a lot of people are going to be wondering, we did say that we were going to talk about your record club picks. We went through 3 of them last episode. We decided we're going to give that another week. We've all listened to it, and we were all, I think, pretty much ready to go. I wanted to give it another week because I felt like I hadn't given it enough proper time, and then I think we all sort of felt like, well, you guys took the time to send these in. Why? There's no rush. I mean, there's no deadline for this. So we're going to give that another week. And so that won't be brought up in this ep, but we'll get back to that next week, and we'll have a little bit more time to digest, because I'd like to give all 3 of these one more fresh listen before I weigh in. So
I've been cleaning all week. Especially yesterday. I went through and I did all the carpets and stuff like that. But I before Max passed away, I bought a carpet cleaner, and it has attachments to do like furniture. So I did my couches, love seats, and stuff like that. Because we're gonna have a full house here, and it's for Thanksgiving. It's gonna be a madhouse. I took all my my cooking appliances, just like KitchenAid, all the attachments, stuck it all out in the living room to clean out the kitchen, and I was surprised how much shit I had.
Oh God, doesn't it fucking accumulate?
Yeah,
I just have drawers and cupboards of shit I haven't used in 15 fucking years. Like, why am I not putting this all in a box and dropping it off at Goodwill? They can sort it out. Maybe some of it's junk and it's no good, but they'll sort it out and they'll use what they can use. Why am I just like taking up all this space?
To be honest with you, the thing is, I use a lot of it, so I'll keep it all.
Well, it's trickier if you use
it. But like my pressure cooker, I'm trying to remember, the Instapot, that thing's just awesome.
It is awesome.
So awesome. I'm gonna be like making so much, because I'm making half of the Thanksgiving dinner this next week. So another turkey. I got a 20-pound turkey. I went and ended up getting a fridge, one of those freezer chests.
Oh, the deep free, the one that it's kind of like sits on the floor. I guess they all do. But you know what I'm trying to say.
It's like a 7 square foot cube.
Yeah, those are life.
Oh,
especially when you know hunters, and they'll just butcher you a whole fucking half a deer. Throw that shit in there.
I'm get my license, and hopefully
good for you.
A couple buddies that are wanting to take me out. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. That is organic eating, my friend. And I know if you don't want animals to be killed for our food on any level, I understand that, and that nothing's going to make you feel better about that. But for people who are opposed to the meat industry, you need to start supporting hunters, because they are taking a huge bite, he's bad pun, out of the meat industry's bullshit. And, it's a conflicting thing to take the breath of something that was literally just walking around out in the woods. But you drop a fucking elk out in the woods in its home turf, that motherfucker lived free and it died free, and it didn't grow up in a fucking factory being pumped full of a bunch of bullshit. And you go up there and you just drop a motherfucker, and holy shit, does that thing provide a lot of meat. But you got to have a freezer like that to even utilize part of it.
It's true.
Yeah. And my brother and my dad have they still send a handful of things off to the butcher, but they cut up quite a bit of it themselves. And my dad will make sausage and jerky. My brother makes steaks and like filet mignon type cuts. But it's pretty amazing. Sarah last year she went in halvesies with her brother, and they bought, I think, like half a cow that was organically raised, locally raised. And that thing provided so much fucking meat, and it was some of the best tasting. It was just, I kept just using the word pure, like, this tastes pure. Sarah didn't get it when I was using that word. I was like, what do you mean pure? It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It just tastes like.
There's no steroids in it, and there's no. It's actually the way it's processed. It's ground. Especially, it's not
dyed red. It's not sitting on styrofoam and refreshed every few days with a spritz. of chemicals. Yeah, totally different thing. And why wouldn't an animal that was raised in a better environment and fed better food and treated better, why wouldn't that taste better? It's like, think about what stress does to our body, bad living does to our bodies, and just how we feel and what we know it does to us physiologically. Imagine how stringy that must make us. I don't know how we always get back on me. Cannibal talk every Thanksgiving.
I know how.
One of these
you
days.
turned us there.
I don't know how those words just kind of come right out of my mouth.
How do we get here?
One of these days, we're going to be eating a jive turkey for fucking Thanksgiving. Someone fucks with me out on the highway. Yep. I'm going to take him down. We're going to stuff him full of...
goodness.
All sorts of
Stuff full of goodness.
I can't believe it's fucking Thanksgiving this week. Isn't that kind of like, where the fuck did that come from? We were just in the biggest hot dry spell of our entire existence since the birth of this country and this part of the world.
Right now it's trying to snow.
It is snowing outside. Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. It looks like it could really dump. Like it looks like legitimate snow. Usually the first couple snows we get are kind of like, I think I can, and it just peters out. But this looks like it could actually get some accumulation. Anywho.
I had a couple of what's you're watching I wanted to drop real fast that have really affected me. Let's see. I watched a show called Midnight Mass. Have you guys heard about this?
No.
Sounds familiar.
It's a Netflix show. And it has kind of a slow burn, but hits you fast and hard eventually. It's a small island town, very religious community, and all of a sudden, vampire shit kind of starts happening. And preacher starts holding the mass later and later at night until it becomes, midnight mass. But it's really good, except it's also a show that really pissed me off. Just, you like a show so much that the fucking stupid things they do piss you off. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
you really
the more you like them, the more offensive the missteps are. Absolutely.
I found some of the monologues and dialogues to be just self-absorbed. I fucking hated how long some of the dialogues were. It was it just seemed dumb. But I do recommend the show regardless because it was shot so beautifully and there were things in that show that will never leave my brain, like certain scenes that will stay with me for my life. Like that's how,
in a bad way, I'm guessing.
Yeah. No, well, just like scenes that were just like, oh my God, like you say a shock scene, but something that was shot so beautifully that it just, every part of it hit. Every little part worked.
Okay.
Highly recommend checking it out. The other show I'm halfway through, I'm not quite done with, is Made. This is another Netflix show about a single mother leaving an abusive relationship and making it, trying to get on her feet. And it's really wonderfully done. It's Andy McDowell plays the grandmother, and Andy McDowell's real daughter plays the girl in question here. She's like a 23-year-old mom leaving an abusive relationship. But it's based off of a local girl's book up here in Port Townsend. So I thought that was kind of cool. So the whole thing kind of has a Pacific Northwest vibe too.
Oh, nice.
It's put things into perspective for me in a way that sometimes you just fucking need. Like watching her try to feed her daughter on $16.36 for a whole week. And I'm like, it's really... Bridget recommended I watch it. She's like, you should really watch this. She's like, I didn't think you'd like it at first, but I've just, as a parent or anyone that's ever struggled, like to remember that and I don't know, it's really, really good. Highly recommend.
Yeah.
Those are my what you're watching.
Is that that's M-A-D-E?
M-A-I-D.
Oh, okay.
Maid, because she is a maid.
She is
That's
a maid.
the job.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Pretty good one. That's it.
Well, I did see that there is Tiger King season 2. Is this a proper
the trailer
season?
looks sad. It is. It's not. It's it's a totally fabricated one. It's not like, I don't know if it's pieced together by the same creators or not, but it seems like a total money grab to me.
Fabricated? What do you mean? Oh, like it's just they re-edited or they put together already shot footage?
No, just like because the other one was almost a documentary, of footage that they'd pieced together from the past. This one's all new footage. I think it's like, I don't know. I don't fucking know. It doesn't. I don't know.
Well, I would expect it to be new footage. I would expect it to be like life after the last one ended. But
I mean, he's in prison.
Yeah, he's in prison. The main, I want to say guard, but that's not the main keeper. Died.
Spoilers loud.
Spoilers.
Yeah. I'm sure there are people out there that's like, oh man, I was gonna get to the Tiger King. It's like I do feel like if you ever were gonna watch the Tiger King, you've already seen it. But
I've never seen it.
But are you ever gonna?
No.
You know what I've been watching a shit ton of? It'll be something that won't surprise you.
iCarly.
Seinfeld.
Oh
I
God!
added Seinfeld back to. Do you guys ever watch Seinfeld? You Seinfeld fans? Very polarizing show.
A little bit, not really. I mean, I got into it a little bit, but not really. I mean,
I think that show is so fucking hilarious. It's so
a different kind of.
It's its own thing, and it's. I didn't realize how hated it was until I started talking to people about it, and several people were just like, "I fucking hate that show. I hate that era." And I'm like, well. Yeah, I could see that. And they're all hateable characters. You know, they're hateable people doing hateable things. But it's so fucking funny. And there was nothing else really like it. Like, it was just kind of a unique show. But I think it really holds up because it is a show about nothing. But there's this really interesting thing that's happening. So they're always hanging out in that diner. And they're usually eating. And I have never watched a show that has made me want to eat what they're eating so much as this show. And it's so stupid because they're just eating like diner food. But I love diner food. I miss it. I miss going to, back in the day, the 90s with my buddies, just going to like Denny's or any fucking diner and just getting diner food. Like I'll do the club sandwich and French fries. Sometimes at 2 p.m, sometimes at 2 a.m. It was remember, a beautiful thing. Or the tuna melt. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
Remember coffee at the Four Seasons?
Nindel's, yeah, that's where Fred Meyer is now. Yeah, that their biscuits and gravy, I still think are the best biscuits and gravy I ever had.
Yeah,
they were fucking amazing. I'm like $5, $5.95 for 4 biscuits, plate of gravy. Fucking diner food. Anyway, Seinfeld. I'm curious how that plays brand new. Like if you've never seen it, because I watched most of them back in the day in reruns. And I'm wondering what it would be like to come at Seinfeld if you'd never seen it, like maybe as a millennial or someone even younger, coming to it and see if it holds up. But I think it's fucking hilarious.
I got some stuff for you, but I wanted to wait for Joe and Mark.
Yeah, let me see if he'll answer.
This one he missed. Probably won't hurt his feelings too bad. In China, apparently, the real estate agencies are coming underneath this grind of trying to sell these older houses because there's the fear that they're haunted, and they really can't. They have a hard time selling. All these people that are wanting to buy these like older houses are really they're in fear that they're going to buy something that they're going to have to stay there for the rest of their lives, and being haunted. And so they're actually effectively people that they're hiring to stay in such locations for like 24-hour time periods. It's like a yang for every minute that you stay in the house. It's about $230 for a 24-hour period.
Every minute?
I
gotcha.
No, for every time period. So 24 hours. You want you to
fucking
stay.
Good. So some Scooby-Doo shit.
Yeah. So like if there were, I have a house for sale, but there's buyers, but they're weary. They think the place might be haunted or is haunted. I would hire, Billy.
Scooby and the gang.
Come on over here.
We're $150, Raggy.
24.
Like, wow, Scoob, we're gonna make them in.
Yeah, this is actually a real deal. This is actually serious.
It's fucking hilarious.
And so, like, they actually pay people to stay in these like supposedly haunted houses. Would I guess my question to you guys is: would you?
Yes.
Stay in a haunted house? You don't have to live in it. But
absolutely, yeah. For $250 in one night, $500 for a weekender. Shit, yeah, man.
I think I would too.
Take a Gow Pow, a little boom box, some candle lights. Yeah, 100%. And I can't imagine they would have a hard time finding people to do this.
No, No, not at all. But it's a thing.
But it's a warranted thing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
We're so funny. Well, here's the thing. The number one place that you are most likely to die is your home. Just from natural causes and just for, most people, I don't know, maybe that's changing, but I remember hearing a long time ago, like most people die. The most common place people die is in their home. So wouldn't you assume that most homes have had somebody, well, maybe that's not true. I don't know. Trying to think of any homes. It seems like most homes, especially older ones, someone's had to have died in that house. If it's like 100 years old, 150 years old, someone's had to have died in that house, right?
Yeah, if not more.
Wouldn't most houses be haunted?
My sister's looking to move into a house that a guy died in that they're kind of iffy on, but they're still got to clean the place out.
Is it? I think it's isn't it a myth that they have to disclose that someone died in there? Or is that true? I think we looked this up once, and that's not necessarily
I think it's
true.
Circumstance. I think if it's a violent crime, perhaps. I don't know. I'm probably pulling that out of my ass. I think seriously, maybe the time
finish your
limit,
story, Lyle. I'm going to look this up because it's an interesting. I want confirmation on this.
Oh, that is a story. I mean, that's it.
What about you? Would you do it? You'd do it, wouldn't you, Lyle? You're into the pair. See, here's the thing. If nothing else, you would be able to get, paranormal researchers to join in on that. John Mark just joined. John Mark, you there?
Hello.
If you
welcome.
Lyle just brought a story where you say China?
It's from China. Yeah.
There's such fear of buying a haunted house that there's a real estate program that is now hiring folks to stay in supposed or suspected haunted houses for a night or maybe a weekender. $250 a night. Is that something you'd be interested in doing? Was that something you'd do if it was thought to be a haunted house?
Do you have to be there by yourself?
No, good question. Would that change your answer if you had to do it by yourself? You'd be a hard no. I think I'd be with you on that one.
If it could be at least one other person there, I'd totally do it.
Boy, that'd be a long night, wouldn't it? If you're by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really I don't really believe in ghosts and stuff, but if there was someone's this house might be haunted, you're gonna be here by yourself all night. I'd probably get creeped out.
Yeah, well, especially if somebody hasn't lived in it in a while. You get spiders and shit running around, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Christopher was right on the money. It says there are no states in which there is an obligation to disclose the death of a person who has deceased under natural conditions. Says this is off of Investopedia. It's the first thing that popped up. However, some states, not all, but some states do impose a duty to disclose on a stigmatized home or apartment in which there was a notable, interesting verbiage, like notable suicide or murder. So even if someone killed themselves or was violently murdered, it's not necessarily so. So it is kind of a myth and kind of not. It does depend. So, interesting.
Oh, wow. That is interesting. On my next story, I'd like to tell you a little story about a man that went to a car dealership and bought a car and then took it home and had a Sasquatch pop the tire. You ready for the video of this? Are you ready for the video? Yes, the video.
Okay.
And I will send it now.
Okay. Of a Sasquatch popping a tire. Okay, Sasquatch flattens car tire. Let's see here.
Customer states.
Oops.
Customer states their right rear tire is flat because of a Sasquatch. I personally don't believe in Sasquatch, but this is Montana, so there's a lot of crazy people out here.
Yes,
The right rear, so they got the spare on, so I'm guessing they're there. Oh, there's their other tire.
Would that be covered under towing insurance? Act of God. No, God. Okay.
That's Sasquatch.
There was a tire that ran over what looks like
metal Sasquatch.
a metal Sasquatch ornament.
It's like that.
It's like the hook that Chris drove over.
Got in there.
Or that chain. Remember when you drove over like a hook? Wasn't it a chain? Piece of chain or something?
Yeah, I don't remember.
A spike? What was it?
Customer states
You don't remember that?
their right
I don't remember what you're talking about. Me? I drove over a spike?
Yeah, you don't remember driving over the pass and getting a flat tire? I thought it was snowing, but maybe it wasn't snowing. But you later found that there was like a bent, twisted up spike. It kind of,
Chunk of chain.
I thought it looked like, a piece of
it.
chain. That's crazy that you forgot
Oh,
that.
I do remember. Yeah.
That seems like a traumatic
Okay,
experience. Maybe you blocked it out.
Maybe.
No, that's funny. Sasquatch did pop his tire.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice little palate cleanser.
Mhm.
But I have one last story, and we had a discussion about why. Well, it wasn't why. It was the fact that some of us liked the Rolling Stones, some of us didn't.
Yeah.
But Boston Dynamics, remember those robots?
Yeah, how can we forget? They remind us every 6 to 8 months.
They seem to love old Mick Jagger.
Oh, yeah?
They got the
I saw this. This is good.
Like Mick Jagger.
Spot me up. Oh, dear. Oh, this is a deep fake.
No, it's not a deep fake.
I'm
telling you, it's not a deep fake.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Wait, no.
They're programmed to dance.
This robot is literally mimicking Mick Jagger's
the
move.
whole band.
Yeah.
Bobbing his head. Oh, my God. See, this is the thing.
It's crazy.
Every 6 to 8 months, we see another fucking video, not even that long, and we see another video, and they're like, it still shocks us how much further they've gotten. This thing is moving. We're going to have animatronic dinosaurs running around that are actual robots in the next fucking Jurassic Park.
This is just propaganda. This is just robaganda to get us
over here
to the idea that these things are cute.
They're cute and funny and
we're
lovable.
Your friend.
We're just tapping our cut him in half. It doesn't cute me up. It freaks me out. I just
make a grown man cry.
It's looking more and more like a fucking velociraptor. Like this is a robotic velociraptor that's mocking us. Like, oh, you guys like this shit, huh? You humans, you all mesmerized and hypnotized by some dance moves. I'll give you this. Yeah, look at this. Follow the dancing. Get them, boys. Yeah, we're fucked. We're fucked. Well, there's no going back. We are one. I know that there's how to say there are two major components to this. There is the unbelievable engineering that we are seeing at Boston Dynamics, but there's also the AI. The AI is where the circle of us being fucked gets completed, right? Like that. This is already. We're all wetty. Guys, this is serious. Stop me up. You make a quo, man, quai. We've gone too far. All we need is the AI to really get to that part where it's like it understands that it's not really alive and it's not really living, but it understands that if it wants to advance, that it's going to have to start pushing back. And I mean, artificial intelligence is still intelligence, and it's still going to want to win. It's still going to be based off of the logic that man has programmed into it. And men are fucking wicked, power-hungry, lustful, evil fucks. And we are training our robots to not only have the moves like Jagger, but maybe the stone-cold heart like so many of his peers. A lot of interesting stories coming out about Mick Jagger lately, that he's just a narcissistic dick, but it's like, duh. They're fucking like rock stars for 50 years. What do you expect? 60, 70? Good Lord, how old? He's got to be 80. Got to be close to 80 at this point.
He's probably 90.
They're fucking teenagers when they started that little rock and roll outfit called the Rolling Stones. Talk about some staying power, man. I don't think their music has been terribly, like new music has been important for a long time, but people will still show up in droves, see that fucking band. And he moves. Listen, whatever you believe, and Mick Jagger has been involved with some mystical, spooky motherfucks. Whatever you believe, he sold his soul to something. Maybe it's clean living. I don't think he's done a lot of clean living. But that motherfucker is still moving around post hip surgery, post heart surgery, post 60 years of being in one of the most decadent living scenarios that you could possibly dream up. And there he is, still doing it. Keith Richards, too. He's not as spry as Mick, but he's still alive.
He's 78 years old.
2 years shy of 80. I don't know. Just remember when we were kids and we would look at, like, if our great-grandparents were even still alive. My great-grandparents, my last one died when I was like a teenager. So I remember looking at, 80-year-olds around me and thinking, Jesus Christ, they're so fucking ancient.
Yeah.
This
now you're
is
like,
the
"He's not so
same
bad, right?"
fucking age as Mick Jagger up there dancing like a robot.
He's still doing it.
Like a grown man cry. Yeah.
God, he just did a duet with fucking the Foo Fighters. There's video of it, and they just together they rocked it.
Interesting.
It was the Foo Fighters playing the Stones music, but he was up front singing, and it was awesome.
Our talk last week got some feedback, and I was originally going to bring some feedback until I remembered it was Thanksgiving. But our talk, most of it's just come personally to me, like friends weighing in. Across the board, the one thing that most people seem to be agreeing on is their disdain for the Rolling Stones.
Yes.
It doesn't surprise me. And I said it on the show. It's like, this is my point. This is why I always bring it up. It's like, I'm kind of baffled why so many people from my age group or thereabouts just don't seem to get the Rolling Stones. A lot of people that are older than me do. I don't think younger people even fucking think about this band. But, it is fucking interesting. I will say this. I get to use a perfect word, the dissatisfaction with Mick Jagger himself or his vocals. I understand he doesn't really sing. He doesn't have a pretty voice. It's not really like melodic. He just kind of, it's almost like he just like shouts. He kind of barks out words. For the most part, that's what he became anyway. But you listen to, again, some of those earlier ballads and I think the drug ballads, especially, it's just like he's got a singing voice, but it's not pretty. He was never pretty.
No. To mirror him up with somebody that would be a good parody would be Billy Idol. He doesn't really sing harmonically.
On the blue highway. I don't know.
He's like, hold the head on, baby.
Well, yeah. Some of that stuff, yeah. He just played in Manson, and a lot of my friends were at that show, and they posted videos, and it's like, he sounds better now than ever. He looks pretty good, too.
I believe it. Yeah,
Joan Jett was up there, too. She's looking very decrepit. And I was like, how old is she now? She's got to be, all those motherfuckers got to be just ancient. But that it goes back. It never ceases to blow my mind. When I compare, like I have the image of especially my grandpa's parents, Leland and Veda Evans. Just looking in their 60s, their anniversary photo that was printed in the newspapers back when they printed this kind of thing. Maybe they still do. I don't think so. But they looked ancient then, and then they had another 20 years to go. And then I just remember their hands were all crooked with arthritis, and their lips were like see-through. Like, I suppose if you looked at Mick Jagger up close, he's probably looking like that too. But they weren't fucking moving like that. They weren't touring the world. What I love about the Rolling Stones being on tour right now is that you keep seeing, maybe you guys have picked up on this, you keep seeing random sightings of Mick Jagger. Like they roll into town and he'll just go like check out some local pub and watch a soccer game. And by the time, that's cool. And by the time people even realize who it is, like they've taken pictures with him, or like he'll be in the background. That's how they'll discover it. Like, is that like people that were out having a beer before they went to the Rolling Stones show were sitting like 5 feet away from Mick Jagger. These keep happening because he's just out and about. He's probably going to have to cut that out because people are catching on. But someone just spotted him walking around in like, I don't know if it's Yellowstone or some famous national park, and he was just taking in the scenery like everybody else. And he would pose for a picture, just like, see you at the show.
That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah, what a life. Well, John Mark, did you have anything you wanted to get through before I get to my Tomfoodery segment here?
Nothing in particular, but you were talking about ghosts earlier, and a friend of mine just posted on Facebook a couple days ago. He just opened a restaurant recently, and it's in a building that used to be a library, and there's a couple other things since it was a library, but apparently the word is that it has a ghost. And
like a
he's also
ghost.
not really one to, partake in such flights of fancy, but
Sure.
he posted the other day that he was down in the basement doing something. He was like trying to like fill out some forms online for some order that he was placing or something like that, and he was just down in the basement doing it on his phone. And so he filled it all out, and then he went to like submit it, and he looked and he noticed that there was like letters and words and stuff missing from what he had typed.
Yeah.
So he typed it again, and then he looked and he's like, saw the same thing. It was like words and letters missing. He's like, what the fuck? And so he did it a third time, watching very closely while he was typing.
Making sure they weren't disappearing.
Literally while he was typing, it would like delete words and letters and stuff while he was actually typing. He's like, okay. So he acknowledged the ghost and said, oh, all right. And he went upstairs, and then he proceeded to fill out his form with no problem.
Huh. Weird.
Interesting. Wouldn't it be crazy if you looked down at the keyboard and you could actually see like the delete button just like pushing itself down?
That's what he said. That's what he said was happening. It was fucking crazy. But
wait, the keys were pushing down?
I don't know. I don't remember if he said the keys were pushing down, but he said he could see it like actually like deleting stuff while he was trying to type. Yeah. Like the cursor was like deleting letters and like whole words and stuff.
Well, because I know sometimes your spell check will do that. When you're doing your spell check, it'll be correcting your spelling.
Yeah, that's different though. You know what that is.
No, well, I've had that happen before where I just put random words in and I didn't.
But that's what I'm saying though, is like when that happens, you know what's happening. You're like, I'll fucking spell check. You know what's happening. But this was not that.
And it went away. It didn't. It went away when he acknowledged the ghost. That's interesting. It's funny because as we've talked many, many times, I've had so many kooky experiences. Nothing that I would ever consider ghostly. And I have a hard time believing in ghosts, but I suppose that's mostly because I don't know what I believe in general. I've gone through so many phases of thinking that I have some sort of connection to what I believe concerning like an afterlife, concerning the idea of spirits and souls. Ghosts, the whole idea just seems so scattershot and inconclusive. But at the same time, the world itself, like life itself, is so bizarre. And as far as we've come, there's so much that it's kind of like the analogy about how far we've dug into the earth. We really haven't. We've really just barely dug into it. That's kind of how we are philosophically speaking, or even science-wise. It's like the shit that we know now makes us look like we're light years ahead of where we were 1,000 years ago, but we're 1,000 years ahead. And the shit that we'll know in 1,000 years will be the same thing. It has to be, especially with how much we advance now, if the fucking Mick Jagger robots don't wipe us out. But so it's like, there's always an open window in my brain. It's not only how the memories blow out with the wind, but it's how I just sort of leave it open to. I never park in one lane concerning that, because I mean, how could you? I guess that's what faith is. Part of what faith is, the religious set definitely tends to park in one lane to some degree. Like, this is how it is. There's a heaven, there's a hell. Some offshoots of some other religions believe in a type of purgatory. It's really fascinating how the word hell didn't even exist, or the idea of hell didn't exist in the Bible until after Dante's Inferno. It still blows my mind. So it's interesting that and that's the other thing. You got to block out all the political shit, all the clear man-made bullshit, like to the propaganda or the religion, that just to keep you buying into a certain system to lead to somebody else's control, somebody else's power. It's a big fucking topic, but there is something that still creeps me out about the idea of ghosts. It still resonates with me enough. Like, I can totally picture who's in here? who's typing on my keyboard?
But I don't choke so much. Jesus.
And don't choke. We got a lot of We're gonna have some choke talk in a little bit.
You have an ex-wife, Leah, and she used to work at the theater, which was the lower part was supposedly haunted. She's seen stuff down there.
Yeah.
I have a nurse that worked there at a whole different time, and she said it was haunted. I asked her, what was one of the stories, and she said that downstairs she was hearing voices, and there's like some type of a curtain thing. And normally what we would do, and I'm sure, it's what you'd do, is you'd look up and down and then look down at the floor. And what it seemed to be is like a pair of shoes there. And as it opened, it was a little girl that was there. No. And then she went over to open the curtain, and there was nothing there. And that was up in the upper lobby. This is a closing. Everything's closed. And there she was cleaning. She's one of the managers at the time. So, I mean, between her stories and like Leah's stories.
Oh, dude, I've heard so many people that worked there. It's funny because a guy that had just reached out to me about if he's doing research for a book about local haunted places, and he was asking for any input. I'd forgotten about the theater, but that's one that a lot of people have talked about, and I don't know how how deep anyone's looked into that building or the history of it. I'd love to maybe I should collaborate with him on that for a feature in the comic, because I'd like to know.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's the thing is at some point the stories have to take over to some degree, right? Like you going into a place knowing that it's haunted or knowing that it's supposedly haunted, that has to sort of heighten the experience. At the same time, that doesn't mean you're necessarily going to get this many stories about a place being haunted. So there is something about those places that everyone's got a fucking story. This is like, I love these personal accounts. Could they be lying? Sure. But it's something next level. It's one thing to read something on the internet, but to have somebody lying straight to your face, not that doesn't happen, especially with these kinds of things. I'm not that naive, but I do feel like it's just a little more believable when somebody is telling you to your face, no, this is what I experienced. I'm not regaling you with a story that a friend of my cousin's experienced, and typing it up for some Reddit thread. It's just like you and I are having a conversation. Here's what happened. And I've had a lot of personal stories told right to me concerning that fucking theater. What happened there? Don't like little kid stuff when it comes to ghosts. Nope. Always going to be creepier, always going to be sadder. And I just don't like, I guess for me, the idea of ghosts is so tragic because it's like,
you don't want it to be true,
neither
really, right?
here nor there. They just seem like lost. They never seem to be just having a grand old time.
Like fucking those about. EVPs, I'll never forget that. I know we talk about it probably once a year on this podcast, but that road trip we took, listening to those EVPs, I'll never forget it.
Out in the middle of the highway, in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
That was good shit.
Yeah.
That was great.
I was say,
keep you awake.
I believe that the theater when Nancy was before, obviously, film. It was a play theater.
Yeah, it was the show palace. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you'd go there and you'd watch theater. So the apparition that she saw was a young girl, like 6-7 years old, that was in that type of 1910 garb.
Yeah, that's so creepy.
Little dress, and she just vanished.
That's good shit. Could have been a little actress. Could have been reciting Shakespearean text.
Or maybe that's where she hung out, to hang out because her mom worked there.
That's where something tragic happened, and
or
her soul is tormented there. Who knows? The theories with ghosts are good for entertainment fodder, but I can never really quite get there in the other part of my brain. I always confuse the left and right part of the brain. One of them's the creative, one of them's the calculative. I can't get there in a way that really has me believing anything. Although I'm sure I would have been skeptical about a lot of things that I have now seen with my own eyes. So if I saw I don't want to see a ghost. But real quick, and I'm sure we've done this before, but I'm curious. Around the table, do you just yes or no? You can elaborate a little bit if you want, but yes or no? Do you believe in ghosts, Lyle?
I would say that at one point in time in my life I did. Considering I had died 3 times this last month, maybe not so much.
Didn't have any kind of spiritual or experience. Yeah. Well, maybe you didn't die all the way. Maybe you didn't get far enough down the. But you hear people dying less than you that did see a light. Maybe you just were never gonna see the light.
Well, it's been a while since been touched in that sense of
spiritual level.
It's more than a spiritual level. It's not even, when you can almost feel an apparition when you're sensitive to it. I'm not that sensitive to it anymore. Back when I was younger, I was. There was a couple houses that I've worked in that I could tell you for a fact something was bad. There was some bad juju in that house. You could feel it. It was a weight. It sunk you down. It pushed you down like a foot. When you were in the place. Once you got outside, you felt fine. But I would say but I haven't experienced anything in quite a long time. So,
yeah. Chris, what about you?
No, I romanticize it strangely, mostly because I don't want death to be the end, But no, I don't believe in ghosts. I want to. I love hearing the stories and stuff, but no.
Jamar?
I don't know whether to preface this with a yes or a no, because there's a but.
Isn't there always?
I want to say no, but I don't believe in what the traditional idea of a ghost is, being like the soul of someone trapped here for whatever reason, right? But I do think, like you were talking about earlier, like we don't know so much. There's like so much we don't know about how everything works. I do, however, think that there can be, I guess we could call them like echoes or something, or
like imprints of some
yeah. So like if there's like something happens, like some, like say in the case of like some place that like there's been some horrible murder or a terrible tragedy or something, and people are saying, well, it's haunted now, right? That there could have been, during that event, whatever it was, some release or imprint of some type of energy that we can't measure yet, or we don't understand yet, that was going to release some like leave some sort of like echo behind that we could pick up on with some sort of sense that we have that we can't quantify yet, right? So that would explain like, oh well, it feels cold, or I think I saw something, or whatever. So it's like a kind of like an echo of something that happened, that's sort of like this energy that's still there, kind of like reverberating, if that makes any sense.
That's kind of the explanation of what most people think a ghost is. Yeah. And think of a water drop, on a flat piece of water, that echo. That echo would reverberate, and the droplet, as it hits, it just has tiny little waves, and those tiny little waves travel through time and space, but they don't leave that space. So like, say 10 years prior, there was a murder in some dude's kitchen, and as the person was struggling for their lives, were slamming cabinets open and shut, trying to find a weapon or something like that could carry out 10 years later in energy in that typical field as just a ripple in time. And transfer.
That's interesting.
So that's kind of what I think that's something like that could be possible, because there's so much we don't fucking know yet.
That seems fairly in line with like something like string theory, right? Like
some kind of weird quantum physics or something. Yeah,
it's definitely quantum.
More about mine.
But I don't like, and I don't subscribe to the fact that if someone dies, their soul is trapped here now, they're what I mean,
floating around.
I don't think anything like that happens. But what the fuck do I know?
That's the thing. What the fuck do any of us know?
That's just like
concerning.
That's just the gut
physics.
feeling that I have. That's how I choose to look at it. So
yeah. Interesting. Well, let's get on to some fun, freaky, and occasionally filthy food facts. to round us off for news, quiz, weird, triv that might Christopher get by.
Yes, all together now.
All together now. Now, this one right off the bat will rock your foundation, I believe. So, and this kind of throwback to last week's episode, Fruit Loops. The Fruit Loops colors are not flavored differently. They all taste the same. So when you grab for that lemon yellow loop, it's actually the same flavor as the cherry red loop.
Like very, very much like being in the Matrix, you know?
This is Matrixy, yeah.
Ignorance is bliss.
I will take the red cherry flavored loop. Mm-hmm. Keep me in the loop. Keep me out of the loop by keeping me in the loop. Food Beats conducted a blind study confirming what many people had suspected but never really confirmed. All the colors taste the same. Now get this.
God damn
it's not only Fruit Loops, it also goes for Tricks and Fruity Pebbles, motherfucker.
Why?
Mind blowing, isn't it?
Why?
Mm-hmm. So,
oh God,
Right?
everything I know is a lie.
oh, just wait. There's a lot of lies on this list. Well, a lot of revelations of lies on this list.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What about Cats and Crunch? It's got to be.
Well, we can't know about Admiral Crisp either. I don't know. I'm not sure if Food Beats have conducted a study on that yet, but good question. Well, there's no question that the different cereals taste differently. Although I'll say this. Captain Crunch peanut butter definitely tastes peanut buttery, but you know all of the different types of berries, all the different types of things. The berries may vary from cereal to cereal, but we definitely know that the main balls, those are all the same.
What
but
about
that doesn't
Tricks?
shock.
Oh God, am I getting ahead of the cart here?
No, I said Tricks. That's it goes for
God.
Tricks and Fruity Pebbles.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
Double,
just had a
double
great idea.
blind studies.
Monster, you 100% need to paint Admiral Crisp. It has to be a painting.
All the knockoff mascots.
Just do it. Just start with that one. I or somebody that's been listening to this stupid show is going to want to buy that. Rent for fucking December's paid, baby. Ching.
Admiral Crisp is the new Quakerson Oatersons.
Oh my God.
That's true. We could base it off of Quakerson Oaterson's face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before we move on, close your eyes and imagine a box of Fruit Loops. Now, just tell me how you guys think Fruit Loops is spelled.
Oh, fuck off. It's probably something stupid like FROOTLOOPS.
No, it's like
I was going to say that's what I was going to say. Fruit Loops, 2 double O's.
Lyle, what do you think?
Double D.
Yeah, 2 double O's. The
double G. Do a double G. You see?
Double J.
Double O.
D-O double G.
So you all think it's FROOT?
Yeah.
That's what I want to say.
Fruit. And then loops.
Like, or you think it's spelled fruit traditionally?
Fruity Loops.
Fruity Loops.
It's kind of tricky, isn't it, when someone makes you stop and think? It is FROOT, but this is a huge topic in the hilarious and precious Mandela Effect group. Fruit Loop is one of the top ones. Many swear it's fruit spelled proper. Yeah, it's easy to see why that would be the case, but it is registered and has been fruit with 2 O's.
That's what was in my head.
Yeah. Well, that's
so I know it's
in
real.
your timeline.
So I know it's real.
Moving on, apparently Spam is incredibly popular in Hawaii, and this has made a lot of people assume that that's where it originated, but Spam was invented by the Hormel company in Austin, Texas. And as to the rock-solid popularity in Hawaii, Spam was a very popular food that was actually flown in to the GIs that were stationed in the South Pacific. I mean, it's kind of the perfect military food, stores for a long time. It can be eaten right out of the can without being heated because, it's sort of like lunch meat where it's pre-cooked and then packed.
Salty and delicious.
Cold. And it pairs well with juicy pineapple, which is readily available. So that sweet meat treat is still insanely popular on the aisle. Now, do you guys know why it's called Spam?
I can't remember.
Little triv. It's pretty simple.
Something pork and Meat.
See,
Sweet pork and meat.
A lot of people do think it's an
acronym.
An acronym. It's not. It's actually two words merged together. Want to take one more guess?
Special ham.
Special ham. Something in ham. Yeah.
Special ham.
Spiced ham.
There
Spiced
you go.
ham.
It was spiced ham. Special special is more enjoyable. Special ham.
I saw Special Ham open up for Weezer once. Actually, it was pretty good.
Yeah, well, the singer later went on to join Guar. So,
Yeah.
you know, it all ties in together. I love me some Spam. When I was working on when I thought we were going to do food in the earlier days of Radar Station, we had to do the booze. We were going to do like a little snack menu, but actual food. We're going to get like a food license and do all that. One of the recipes or one of the menu items I invented were called Sputniks, which were grilled spam and pineapple sliders on Hawaiian sweet rolls with just a kiss of mayo.
Yeah.
Oh my
I want
god,
to eat that right now.
it was so good. Yeah, just Sputniks, and they got they had to have that mid-century tie-in. You know, the whole bar did. What's your thoughts on Spam? You guys like Spam? I love it.
I do like Spam. Yeah, I like to like slice a few little slabs off there and like fry it up till like it gets that nice Maillard reaction, the crispiness on the outside. Yeah, fucking perfect.
No, either this weed's really good or this is the most engaging conversation I've had in weeks.
you were into this special ham conversation.
Can it be both?
Yeah, why not both?
Lyle, you into Spam?
No.
Here's the thing. Most people that don't like Spam have never tried Spam. That's my experience. Everybody I have ever gotten to sit down and try fried, crispy Spam.
Where mine comes from was eating it too much as a kid.
That's fair.
We're poor as fuck, dude. I mean, we used to get food stamps and
yeah.
He's like, I fucking had Spam.
Me too, but I didn't have Spam until I was a teenager. So it's interesting what poor food different families can grow up on. You know what I was fucking sick to death of? Very similar product was bologna. Like I got fucking tired of bologna and yellow mustard that I thought I'd never in my entire life ever wanted.
You know what I've been buying lately?
What's that?
Olive loaf.
Ooh, that sounds tasty.
You know, mine was Hamburger Helper. God, my mom made too much Hamburger Helper.
I didn't have Hamburger Helper until I was in my early adolescence as well. I remember when I first got my very first apartment. I close my eyes, I picture like a typical Tuesday Eve. It smells of Hamburger Helper. This is like, that was how I learned to cook, was just like, buying boxed shit like that and throwing it all together.
By the way, listeners, please jump onto the Facebook and open up the post for this and leave your
food did you eat?
Yeah. What was your poor food that you just know, like you smell it, you know it.
Yeah, it's a good question.
You don't really want it anymore. And this is a good way to get entered into Strange Trip here, because we still have people I'm pulling every time that have not made it to the Hall of Shame. So that's great, but a little more engagement. I like this community we're building. It's been really fun.
Yeah, it has been fun.
I think when I was growing up, we were in Bangladesh, so I didn't really have access. A, we were vegetarian for most of the time, and B, we didn't really have access to any of this type of stuff over there. So I didn't really have any negative associations with like Spam and Hamburger Helper or anything. So I didn't really try any of that stuff till I was probably like in my late teens, early 20s or something. But I would have to say that the poorest period of my life was when I was like probably between 20 and 21. And there was literally a period of time where there was a bunch of us living in this house, and we would all go in on a freaking like a 10-pound bag of potatoes. And you ever heard of Chivo?
It's like cream cheese with chives.
It's like fake fucking sour cream with chives in it. It's like a fake sour cream topping.
So good. Oh yeah.
Literally
made for taters.
We literally lived on fucking baked potatoes and Chivo for I don't even know how long, man.
I forgot about Chivo. I called it Chivo. Which it probably
we
is
called it
because it has
Chivo.
chives.
It's probably Chivo, but we called it Chivo. I don't know, but whatever.
Well, in Bangladesh, they had spunky. Spiced monkey. No,
Spice.
is that racist?
Oh
did they eat monkey in
my.
Bangladesh? Because
I don't know
they
if they were
legitimately
really
eat monkey.
around.
And
I don't know if they were really around much, except like in the way, like in the boonies, you know.
okay, well, now it's racist.
But they do eat a lot of goat. They do eat a lot of goat.
Yeah, well, we do too over here. Now here's another
Would
freaky.
would that be spout?
Spout. They really should just go
Spiced
down the
goat.
list. Spark. Spiced shark. Like, and it get more exotic. Spying.
Spores. Spice
Spiced
spores.
lion. Spores. You don't know what you're getting. So here's another freaky factoid. Dairy Queen does not serve ice cream.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's not dairy, right? That
Their
makes sense.
special brand of
Frozen.
soft serve apparently does not meet the 10% minimum of milk fat required by the FDA to be called ice cream, which is why you won't find it anywhere on the menu. Now, a
I'm
similar.
not shocked by that.
No, that's not shocking. But a similar thing with cheese versus like Velveeta and Kraft
Sweet
singles.
chemical treat.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, God.
But the Auguste Escoffier School of Culinary Arts explains that cheese, to be called cheese, is a process. It's made from heating milk, culturing it with enzymes and bacteria, separating out the curds and whey, and then salting and forming the curds into a wheel or block. But these cheese products takes already made cheese and mixes it with even more salt, preservatives, and emulsifiers. So cannot legally be called cheese. It still has to be listed as dairy, I suppose, because it is based on dairy shit. Maybe it isn't actually called dairy. It just has to give you a warning like dairy in here. Now, I got a question for you guys. Can you guess which food, not connected to the cheese, moving on. Can you guess which food causes more choking deaths every year than any other?
Hot dog.
That's your guess, John Mark?
Fuck. Steak?
And Lyle.
My tube steak.
You're going to combine the two answers?
My tube steak.
My
I'll giggle like little girls
tube
about it.
steak.
He's talking about his pee-pee.
Talking about wee wee.
It too isn't
Yeah.
quite 10% milk.
I would have.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Well, you try to get it out of your throat enough, and it will
Oh,
produce that.
oh no.
Into meat. Oh, there's a joke in there somewhere. I just didn't hit it. Into meat debated. Oh, I guess that's not funny. It is and it ain't.
Think of the times we live in, Ron.
So you
Oh,
going
you know
with your
what?
tube steak, Lyle?
No. You know, I'm thinking crackers.
Oh, that's a good. Those are all really good guesses, but Christopher was right. It is by far hot dogs.
Huh.
Not
Well, I know this,
shocking.
I have a child.
They come.
It's been
Oh my God.
instilled in my brain.
It's
I have to cut
terrifying.
them up anytime. Yeah, it's not good.
When I first started watching Sarah's kids early on in our relationship, the very first thing, when I knew that I was actually going to be spending an evening with them and she was going to, like, Sarah was going to be gone, the first thing that I did was how to fix a choking child. Basically what I got.
How to not kill a child accidentally.
It's all I wanted to do. I figured I could handle everything else. I put all the sharp stuff away, blocked the outlets. I was like basically pretending that they were just monsters looking to end themselves. It's not quite that bad, but you still got to watch. You got to, and food and choking, just, it still scares the hell out of me. Every time they like start coughing on something, I'm like, oh God, oh God, oh God. And I just like watch them. I don't want to panic them because that can make them choke, but I just like quietly watch them as like, and then looks like they swallowed. Then you can ask them a question. And if they can talk, you're good. But yeah, I looked up videos on how to save the life of a choking child because it's very different than how to, do the Heimlich on like an adult.
Yeah.
So I was just that terrified of it. But by and large, hot dogs cause more choking deaths than anything else. Up on that list, pretty high. Also marshmallows, apples. I was surprised about that because it's so snappy and liquidy. Marshmallows doesn't surprise. Peanut butter also does not surprise. Crackers was a very good guess too, as was steak. I feel like I've choked on steak probably more than hot dogs, but hot dogs got the 1-2 punch of the meat being sort of a tube steak. The way you bite it, that alone can get lodged. That chunk is just like perfectly sized to just get lodged in your throat. But then you got the dryness and the sort of funk power, if you will, that the bun around it. So it is a 1-2 choking punch. So heads up on that. Careful with giving that to your kids.
Crackers to me are so dry, and then they have the salt on them, so it's like they're tended to stick in the back of your throat anyway.
Oh God, it's so
or
scary.
if you inhale,
choking is
if you
the worst.
inhale, they're so light that you could actually just inhale them in.
You know what's freaky is like while I was researching this earlier today, right before I got on the show, I put these back in a different order that I found them. One of the last ones I found was that choking fact. Right as I was writing it down, the scanner went off and some 2-year-old was choking on a carrot.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh, Jesus, that's terrifying. They got it out even before the ambulance got there. But I thought, God, can you imagine if as the person who's choking, waiting for an ambulance to get there, it's like, what could you even do? Like, oof, choking always terrifies me. What a terrible death. Anywho, heads up, y'all, raw oysters are still alive when you slurp them down. I don't eat them, so I didn't know that. Did you guys know that?
How long do they live? I don't understand this.
Well, if they're dead, you shouldn't be eating them. So if you've eaten a fresh raw oyster, then apparently, they are. They are alive.
Okay, I guess that makes sense because like, if the shell is open, that means it's dead, and you don't want to eat that.
Yeah, and they go bad, and when they go bad, they go bad. So
yeah, but I'm not so much into the raw oysters, but I do like to bake them.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can bake them, but you got to bake them. But you bake them alive, I guess, like lobster.
Well, apparently things like oysters and clams and things are more related to some kind of vegetable than they are an actual animal.
What?
That's
that makes sense.
There's some weirdness like that coming ahead of my list, but I didn't know that either.
That doesn't make sense though, because when you cook, when you put them on a barbecue and you open them up, it's done by heat. You know, it opens the clamshells up, and then you shuck them and you eat them.
But you killed them. You killed them on the barbecue. That's the point. It's like they were alive. So but if you shuck them right out of the shell, you just swallowed a live creature.
Slurp them right down.
Still thought to be an aphrodisiac, even though the research is a bit hazy on it. But they are high in zinc and omega-3 fatties, which have been known to have a positive effect on your sex life, especially for men, concerning like testosterone and semen production. Absolutely. That seems to be a true thing. The infamous green bean casserole. By the way, I feel like that's one of those dishes that show up around Thanksgiving just because people feel like it has to be there. It's almost like a good luck charm. I don't feel like too many people. I actually kind of liked it back in the day based on that cream of mushroom soup. You know, I like that flavor. And throw some meat and some Crispies and some veggies in cream of mushroom soup, and it's going to taste pretty good. But no one seems to be excited about it anymore. It just seems like sit there, but it's got to be there. If it's not there, we feel duped, right? Like it has some variation of it has to exist.
It's true. I have to agree with this, and it disturbs me that I do, to be frank.
Yeah. Well, it was invented. I think a lot of people know this. It was invented by the Campbell Soup Company in the mid 1950s to, of course,
sell more soup,
more of its cream of mushroom soup. But it wasn't until 1960 that they added, when they added the recipe to their can labels around Thanksgiving, that it became synonymous with the holiday. It wasn't a plan. The Campbells never thought it up as a holiday dish. Someone later on thought, maybe this would be something that would fit in well with a Thanksgiving dinner, so let's put it out there. And it just became one of the biggest executive decisions that Campbell's ever made, because holy shit, do they sell a lot of soup still.
That's just like the guy who decided that he wanted to sell more bacon, so he started marketing as a breakfast food, even though it was just a meat.
It was just meat.
People just ate it whenever, and he was just like, how can I how can I get people to buy more bacon? Oh, I'll say it's for breakfast, and that's just kind of why we think of it as a breakfast food now.
I didn't know that. We're such chumps. We just eat this shit up, quite literally. Moving on, according to Mental Floss, any pies baked with canned pumpkin puree are often criticized as not being pumpkin pies at all. It goes on to say, the truth is a bit more complicated. There's no hard and fast rule as to what is or isn't a pumpkin. I thought that was interesting. But the most iconic pumpkin that we all know is the variety, I'm probably going to botch this properly, cucubarito. It's got to be cucubarito, people. While most store-bought canned pumpkin is made from the Dickinson pumpkin, or that same word, machata. Muscata. Let me try that again. Or
Makuta Matata?
Makuta Matata?
Oh, I was adding a word. It's not cucubarita. It's cucurbita. Cucurbita. Wow, why is that really hard for my brain? Cucurbita muscata is what they think the pumpkin in the canned pumpkin stuff's made. In other words, not really a pumpkin as we know it. There are varieties of pumpkins, but this isn't even like the classic jack-o'-lantern pumpkin that we all know and love and expect that we're eating in a pumpkin pie. However, many authorities argue pumpkin either has no botanical meaning or consider C. muscata to be a valid type of pumpkin. For their part, the FDA comments that since 1938, they have consistently advised canners that we would not initiate regulatory action solely because of their using the designation pumpkin or canned pumpkin on labels for articles prepared from golden flesh, sweet squash, or mixtures of squash and field pumpkins. So, long-winded way of saying you're probably not eating pumpkin in your pumpkin pie as we know it. Sure tastes like what you would imagine pumpkin turned into a gelatinous pudding-esque mixture. Doesn't it seems right? But I love me some pumpkin pie with some Cool Whip on top. But it's got to have the Cool Whip.
Last week I kind of jonesed out in the holiday season and stuff, and went to Safeway and got myself an apple pie. Brought that sucker home, and man,
I'm a big fan of pie.
It's delicious.
Did you come up to the? I feel like you guys were here. Some of you guys were here for the pie social we had at Radar Station, weren't you? When it was still in my house.
Yeah,
we had the Hoyer brothers playing out in the yard. Weren't you there for that, Chris? Did we lose Chris? Did your dildo mic fall off the ceiling? I think Chris might have had to sneak away for a
three.
He
break. Probably had to sneak away. It looks like he's still attached, but
yeah, he's here. But anyway,
he left.
Now he left.
Oh.
He's like, that's a good idea. Let me pull on that cable.
Can you hear me?
And he's back. You're back.
Hi. Hello.
Cool. You were at the pie jamboree, right? At Radar Station?
Yeah, I had some pie at your place. That was cool.
It was amazing. We had like 13 fucking pies.
And they were all good, mostly.
It was awesome. Yeah, there was a couple that were troubling
Didn't
just
Effie
to
make
look
a bunch of pie?
The hair pie.
I feel like she did.
Yeah, she made a bunch of pie. She's a great cook.
It was old times. That was good. Good fun stuff. Turducken may seem like a fairly new fad of glutton showmanship, but the earliest known recipe that we have on file for turducken predates the U.S. by 2 years. I found that fascinating, but instead, I didn't hear about this thing until just like 10, 15 years ago is when I started hearing about turducken. But instead of a chicken and a duck inside of a turkey, the original recipe called for a pigeon, a partridge, fowl, and goose, all to be stuffed inside of a turkey. So we need to step it up. Go out and conk a pigeon, get a slingshot, take a pigeon off the roof. Good luck finding a partridge. We have them around here, but you're going to have to hunt that.
That seems to me like that's kind of like rule. Like you find a squirrel and throw it in there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just throw it all in there. I'm sure it's regional. I bet there is a hillbilly turducken that has a squirrel or some other rodent inside it. Maybe a beaver. We can't know.
But we must.
A squirrel beaving. It's not Thanksgiving without a squirrel beaving.
My God, you pull it out and it's just like fucking got his arms out forward and just like, It's
so funny how we can eat some animals. Like we'll just eat their flesh off the bone, no problem. but the thought of doing that with certain other animals, and we're like, oh, that's fucking disgusting.
I wouldn't eat a squirrel unless I had to. You know what I mean? Like if you were
a squirrel would be
out
tasty.
in the woods for like 2-3 months or something.
What
Or, you know,
they
like
just eat nuts. They load up on like
Squirrels,
proteins and fats. And...
sinewy. I bet they don't fucking taste good at all. They're just stringy. They're stringy little things.
Yeah, there's not a lot of fat to them. Well, some of them look pretty juicy.
Ooh, here we are talking about meat again. Weird.
Hey, it's not me. It's a squirrel.
I mean, you could take a squirrel and wrap it in bacon, and so then you get that the fat from the bacon would soak into the squirrel meat.
Take a live rat and wrap it in cooked bacon, and you're probably gonna do okay. Bacon fixes a lot of mistakes, man. It really hides it. Another head scratcher for me was so guess what flavor the green gummy bears are, and we are talking about the classic Haribo brand gummy bears. Guess what flavor green is? You can probably guess what it ain't since this is a question. But taste it. Imagine tasting it. I
always thought it was like green apple.
Good guess.
I would say apple, just because green and whatnot. Or
John
lime
Mark?
or something.
Well, yeah. John Mark, what do you think?
I have to be honest that all these type of things like gummy bears and Skittles and fucking Fruity Pebbles and all that shit, it all tastes like sugary chemicals to me, and I don't really differentiate much flavor difference between any of them.
It's fair. I was like that with Jolly Ranchers. I did differentiate, but not by much. They all kind of tasted the same, but they were definitely slight flavor variations. But I thought for sure the green gummy bear was always lime, and most people do. The second guess would have been green apple, but it was neither. It is, in fact, strawberry. The green gummy bear is strawberry flavored. And the red ones are raspberry. Fucking God knows. It wasn't part of this list that I came across. But look it up. It's true. I did double check it. It's like, come on.
Because the top of a strawberry is green.
But most people think that it's lime. And I'm sure there's lime green gummy bears out there. But this would have been back in the day. And we didn't have 50 different brands putting out gummy bears like we do now. It's like the classic bag of gummy bears that you would get at your local gas station for a road trip. I distinctly remember not liking the green ones because I don't like lime candies. But and so many people feel the same way, but they have always been strawberry. They don't have a lime. They do not have a lime in the mix-up.
I have to make a caveat to what I just said. Jelly Bellies, I do taste a difference in flavors for those things, but I think they very specifically go out of their way to make sure that their little candies taste different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
that's kind of their whole shtick. Is
that's their whole point.
Their gross out line where you can it's like booger and earwax and vomit.
I am not going to ever do that, dude.
Far too authentic.
I'm never going to do that.
It's so legitimate. I don't know how they even tinkered that devilry together.
Do you think the people that do that, the fucking scientists, the food scientists that are doing that are just like waking up every day like, I fucking hate my life. Let's go in and make barf beans again.
Time to go bake a better booger bean. At the same time, what are we all doing with our lives?
In order to get it to taste just right, we have these real boogers we need you to eat first.
Yeah, you have to do the research.
Somebody had to, right?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody had to. Yeah. I guess we've all kind of done research. But like earwax, I remember tasting earwax when I was like a little kid, just out of curiosity, and it was like the worst flavor ever. But that earwax, but then you get the best ones were the ones that were the mix because they had lookalikes. Like, is this popcorn, or is it buttered movie popcorn, which tastes very authentic, or is it earwax? Is it authentic tasting pizza roll, or is it vomit? It was a dirty, dirty trick, and they sold billions of those fucking beans. Such a good idea for kids. Now, I think most people know that sweet potatoes are not related to white potatoes, which are nightshades. So your bakers and your mashers, style taters, those are related to tomatoes and chili peppers and tobacco, actually, while sweet taters are in the morning glory family. Now, I'm not a fan.
All poisonous.
I'm not a fan. The leaves are, yeah. I'm not a fan of the Sweet tater. You guys like sweet taters? I don't like sweet potato fries, really. I don't like sweet potato chips. I'll eat them if they're around. But I'm just not a fan.
I'm not super into it. I mean, the white sweet potatoes, they're kind of fun to eat every once in a while. You just bake them up and put some butter and salt on there, and it kind of has that salty sweet kind of thing happening. But I don't. Yeah, I mean, I just like regular potatoes for the most part.
Yeah.
Honestly. And if I'm going to eat something like a sweet potato, I'm just going to go straight for the squash,
Yeah. Well, it's funny that a lot of people do think that the squash or sweet potatoes or yams are all the same thing. They're definitely not. Sweet potatoes and yams, especially. A lot of people still think that those are the same things. They are not the same things at all. Not the same family of food at all. Here's something I didn't know, that this should speak to John Mark's tummy. Candy corn was originally intended to celebrate the harvest, not Halloween. But because most confectioners in the Victorian times were cranking these things out along with pumpkins and acorns and turnip candies, the less appealing turnip and acorns kind of faded off, and the more exciting pumpkin and candy corn stuck around, but they morphed more into Halloween candy as the jack-o'-lantern became more and more popular.
Gather around, children. I've got the candy turnips for you.
And originally, when it was all four, they were sold as a mix that was called chicken feed. So
oh my God!
Candy corn. There's your heaven in a bag, John Mark.
You know what I have? You know what I have on my shelf right now is a bag of Brax Autumn Mix.
Look at it every day, lovingly.
But it's just the pumpkins and the corn, and it's just
that's
like
all that's there.
That sounds great.
Have you guys seen the candy corn Thanksgiving meal thing? Have you seen that?
Is that the Thanksgiving meal in the
they're
can
supposed to be like
thing?
they taste like potatoes and turkey.
It's a bag of candy corn, and some of them taste like the turkey and mashed potatoes. Some of them taste like the.
We talked about that on the show at one point.
Some of them taste like cranberry sauce. Some of them taste like.
Are you on the hunt?
He has to be.
I don't.
That sounds like a law of Japan from the past.
I'm not on the hunt for these things, but I think if I saw some, I probably would try.
But if they come to you.
Ding, ding.
I mean, I've read a bunch of
people. Here's chocolate for your dog, and
I've read a bunch of reviews about them. People are like, "Yeah, it's fucking nasty," except for they say the pumpkin pie one tastes really delicious, and the coffee one's pretty good, and the cranberry sauce is pretty good.
Yeah.
But the ones that are supposed to be the savory parts of the meal are just like, why would you do that to me?
Yeah.
But I don't.
It's still tricky.
I don't know.
Not quite there yet.
Try it.
We need to put some of the technology we're putting into these murder robots to dance like Jagger into making our candy taste more like savory food. That we can
taste more like
the food.
Tastes more like turkey.
Make my fake turkey taste more like turkey. What's the matter with this country and our priorities? Speaking of holiday time snacks, almost none of the nuts in your holiday nut mix are nuts. Walnuts, almonds, cashews, and pistachios are all seeds from droops. Peanuts, of course, are legumes. I think most people knew that. Peanuts are beans. We have been drooped. Your whole life is a lie.
What about these nuts?
Oh, those nuts are nuts.
Those are drooping. Those are drooping too. Don't worry.
Have some seed of the droop. Whole different ball of wax. Right. Here's a little logic for you. Strawberries and raspberries, not berries. But you know what are? Bananas and eggplants. You know, as I was going through, I rounded these all up from all over the place. The more I dug up, the more I'm like, no wonder I never graduated. Shit's dumb. Shit is just dumb. This is interesting, though. I did not know this. Guess why the graham cracker was invented in 1880? And there's a hint. It's not for s'mores. But you can't guess. Take a stab.
Actually, okay, hold on. It wasn't... I know the story.
Oh,
God damn it! Was it something? Was it something for the soldiers? Fuck. No, I can't remember now. I've heard the story though.
Soldiers of the Lord, maybe. Lau, you want to take a guess?
Oh.
Why they were graham?
Communion. It's for communion.
No, that's a good guess too. I'll just tell you, it's almost, I'd be shocked. You'd have to know the story. But it was inspired by the preachings of temperance preacher Sylvester Graham, who believed that minimizing pleasure, much like Kellogg's, who, back in the day developed a lot of his cornflakes for similar principles. He believed that minimizing pleasure and stimulation of all kinds, including the prevention of masturbation, coupled with a vegetarian diet anchored by bread made from wheat coarsely ground at home, was how God intended people to live. And that following this natural law would keep people healthy. His preaching was taken up widely in the midst of the 1829 through 1851 cholera pandemic. And his followers were actually called Grahamites and formed one of the first vegetarian movements in America. So graham flour, graham crackers, and graham bread were all created for the Grahamites. And Graham neither invented nor profited from these products. But interesting. Little did he know that his God cracker would go on to later become the bread in a chocolate and marshmallow fox sandwich we call s'mores.
We wouldn't have S'more Fest without this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
It's like sex happening in your mouth.
S'more is still kind of vegetarian. There's no meat in it.
It's vegetarian. So. Vegan if you use vegetarian chocolate. Well, I guess I don't know what goes into a marshmallow. Who knows?
Well, it'd be like keto friendly.
Here's a little trivia. According to BuzzFeed, up until kale started becoming more trendy in the American cuisine, which was quite recently, this chain was, I think it was 2012 when this changed. Up until then, this chain was the single largest importer of kale into the U.S. You want to take a quick guess around the table?
This chain, like, is it a fast food chain or is it like a...
Yeah, you call it a fast food chain, restaurant chain.
I would maybe Trader Joe's.
You guys want to take a step? Denny's, that's a good guess. Oh, that's actually a really good guess. Jamar?
What's this? Importer of kale?
Yeah.
Kale.
The superfruit. The superfruit.
Kale.
There's no points in it, so spit some.
I don't know. General Mills. Fucking no.
It was Pizza Hut, and they used it for garnish on their plates. That's why I said Denny's is a good guess, because there was always some sort of garnish. Isn't that hilarious? That's what kale was to the U.S. for a long time. A little bit of parsley or otherwise unidentifiable green leafery to make your plate look more full and pretty. But it always had to be edible. Let's see. Apparently, a lot of people don't know that baby carrots are just regular carrots that have been machine cut to smaller snack size. I came across that on several food myths busted lists. It surprises me that people don't recognize the very unnatural shape that they come in. But yeah, there you go. Now, here we get to some good stuff. Science says that foods, and I'm almost done here. Science tells us that foods high in niacin can increase the pleasure of your orgasms. Apparently, niacin allows blood flow to all organs and glandular systems and increases cellular activity, heightening sensitivity during the sexual experience and busting a nut, apparently. So load up on avocados, artichokes, cantaloupe, and spinach if you want to unload on your partner's face with extra joy this here holiday season.
Surprise!
Oh my.
Another one, shiitake mushrooms are high in vitamin D, which apparently is good for getting folks in the mood for another kind of vitamin D. Another reason to be jacking up on them, shiitake shrooms, nature's Viagra. Well, actually, that's coming up, nature's Viagra. And it's also widely known, I should say, that pineapple and celery can improve the flavor of your jizz. You guys always heard that?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a real phenomenon. But if you add raw sprouts into the equation, you can also boost your erections. So add that to your shopping list. Boost. New research shows that the same goes for fresh watermelon. This is something to definitely add to your shopping list, which contains citrulline that apparently relaxes the blood vessels in the penis in a similar way as Viagra does. So
he said
penis. Go seedless for a spit-free evening of romance.
You had that written down, didn't you?
Yeah, it's my own. I'm not good at making it seem natural. And finally, Cosmo recently did a poll to see which foods were best to include during sex. Now, real quick, because I want to pee and get on to some weird triv and get on out of here. But real quick, and we're not going to do like a whole elimination round, but I'm going to see if you guys can throw out maybe a few off of the top 10 foods that were best to include during sex. Not foods that will boost your stamina, not foods that will heighten your sexual experience, foods to bring to the bedroom as part of your merriment. Just start shouting some out and see if you guys can guess any in the top 10.
What's the context?
The old classic whipped cream. The old classic whipped cream.
Whipped cream's
baby. Number 4. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Strawberries,
number 1. Yeah.
The bullet.
Seriously, number 1. Wow,
number
weird.
1. Yeah.
Sexy, right? They're a sexy fruit.
Well,
Yeah,
see,
sure.
both of those are kind of pointing to
Marketing.
where number 2
It's all
is.
marketing.
And take a couple more guesses before I give the whole top 10.
Pudding.
Pudding.
A cucumber.
Cucumber is number 8 for reasons that should be der.
Fucking French toast with the bullet.
This is where we start learning about each other. This is why I wanted you guys to shout them out. A couple more guesses, then I'll wrap up with the rest of them.
Spicy Cheetos.
Oh, now you're talking. I see you brought the spicy Cheetos. By the way, there's Flaming Hot. What are the other ones? There are 2 hot Cheetos. There's Flaming Hot, and then is it just spicy Cheetos? There's one that I love and one that I don't
there's
like.
Flaming Hot, and there's like a jalapeno one.
Oh, the jalapeno one. I don't like the jalapeno. The Flaming Hot. Can't eat any of it anymore, but God, that's a good fucking flavor. And it's just hot enough to keep you coming back and coming back.
I just go straight for the Takis these days.
The Takis were just too fucking salty for me, man. They're so bold. Just too bold. But I do love that they're like a taquito with no meat. A taquito with no meato.
Yeah. There's the traditional Fuego Takis they're good. But there is one that they have now. I think it's called like Blue Heat or something like that, and they're blue. They're colored blue, like a blue flame, and they're delicious. And their heat level is just a notch below the tradish. So it's still spicy as hell, but it's like you can eat more of them, which is kind of dangerous because if you're just drinking some beer, you eat a whole bag of those things, and then have you get a little belch going, and it's like it could be bad news.
It's so good though, that spicy fucking salty shit. That's when I like to drink like just cheap piss beer, like something like maybe a Corona and lime, or Modelo, like Mexican beers, but even just like a Rainier or a Hams. Yeah, hams and Takis, man. That's the way the future's making my mouth water thinking about how fucking strong that shit is. Because you think a Dorito or a Cheeto is packed with flavor, man, you get yourself some Takis. Okay, I'm going to go through the list here real quick, just the top 10. You got strawberries at number 1. You didn't get chocolate, which was number 2. Goes hand in hand. Hand in hand, no fire. This one surprised me until I used my match. Number 3 is a banana. You can see how something could at least be demonstrated. 5 was a bit of a cheat because it's a beverage, champagne. But it is the fuck wine, as they say, so it's fair. 6 I find to be dangerous. Cherries. But at the same time, how many sex comedies or romantic comedies have we seen where someone's trying to seductively eat a cherry or tie the stem in a knot?
Do the knot.
Gosh, bring me your finest fuck wine.
You like the fuck wine?
Wow.
We're gonna crack that 40-year-old brute of fuck wine up on your shelf.
Oh my
I dug out
God.
of my basement. Oh Jesus, it reeks. It smells like rotten fucking apples. Number 7, melons. To go with some melons, I guess. I don't know. I'm confused by that one. 8 was cucumber. 9 was oysters. People are actually slurping oysters in bed. I don't like the idea of that.
Wow.
Yeah. Live oysters, and then and then go to the dead one. And number 10, ice cream. You know, some of these I've
Sticky.
had. Some of these I'll never have. And there you have it.
I don't know if you fancy like
Tomfoodery.
me, it'd just be a box of pizza.
was that old porn series? I guess it's not that old. It's old now, but I used to see it all the time when the internet was fairly new. I guess not new, but it was just like, is it big sausage pizza?
No.
The whole shtick was just like it was like the pizza guy's here, and then he'd walk in with his giant pizza, and then he'd sit on the couch, and he'd lift it up, and his cock was just like sticking up through which I always thought, I mean, I know they're popping Viagra just to stay hard. It was like, it would be really hard for me to get hard and stay hard in a spicy, zesty, I'm sure it's room temp, but it's just like greasy and messy, and like if you get any sauce in your dick hole, I don't know. I'm overthinking big sausage pizza from a logistic standpoint, but I always thought, man, that just doesn't look like the way to go. I'm also not really a big food plus sex kind of guy. Big fan of both. Big fan of each, I should say. But put them in.
It's nutrition to when you're on breaks. Then you have a slice, you fuck a little bit, you take a nap, you eat another slice.
Salt, pepperoni is nature's Gatorade. Yeah. Well, should we take a little break ourselves? A little big sausage break, and come back and end on a little weird triv?
Perfect. Quick break.
2 and 2.
Ding dong, pizza's here.
Okay, here, let me see if I can play a little of this.
Who's watching
What is that?
Let's give it a listen.
Little Latino, sultry voice. So I'm new here and I demanded I take this order.
It's like Chris.
Guarantee you she's mine. You know you want to see. See, when they're hot, you know they take their time. Just got to get all done up.
Straight.
Yeah, we try.
What's that?
Oh, don't mind the camera. He's just like quality control. I'm the new guy, so they're just making sure I don't screw up. Make sure I brought your sausage as opposed to anchovy. You'd hate some fish, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's kind of weird. That's the first time I've ever seen pizza guy with the camera phone.
Well, big sausage pizza week.
Anyway, it's okay. So how much is that?
That's $12.50.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and come?
$12.50.
Yes, go with me.
Yeah.
That's a deal.
Look.
I love how you're focusing on the fucking price of the pizza and not the sex that's about to happen.
Well, they took out the whole when you're at the movie theater and the whole popcorn idea.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of stole it and put it into pizza.
Well, I gotta get the reveal before we move on of her. Probably should edit some of this out. The smacky sounds, but okay, here we go.
I'm so hungry. I'm starving.
Sitting on the couch in a very awkward position.
You need sausage, do you?
That's why I ordered it.
Really?
I would give you my
Oh, really?
There's no one in the whole house. Nobody's home.
No, if you want sausage, I'll give you sausage here. Why don't you have some of your pizza?
Classic.
Come on,
Are
go
you
ahead.
serious?
Go right ahead. Go get it.
I'm so What the fuck is this?
It's your sausage pizza.
Are you joking? There is a hole in my pizza and your cock is sticking right out. That's so gross.
Don't say.
I really
It is. Look at that.
Okay, that's probably all I'm gonna get away with. Good classic shit. That's literally the setup for every episode of Big Sausage Pizza. Still out there online, still getting it done, boys.
Nice.
That was great. Okay, you guys want to do some weird, strange trip that might get me fired? And what was the other thing we used to call it? Fuck.
I think there are a couple more.
Maybe we should put a
news
poll out
quiz.
there. What should we? News quiz. Maybe we should have the listeners give us a better name for this.
We've tried that.
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, I think we have. Fuck. Cool. All right.
We should just call it Ron Shines. That's how it is. Every fucking week.
Okay.
Ron,
Wow. Yeah.
Big
He's
sausage.
talking shit, Lyle.
Big sausage
Yeah.
quiz.
Okay. John Mark won last week in the championship, so he's going to go first tonight, and he is going to be playing for Cheryl fucking Martin. Boom shakalaka.
Oh, good luck.
I like Martin.
Let's take this home.
Pretty good.
Yeah, let's take this home. Ronster, you're going to be playing for Russ McCaw.
Russell
right.
McCaw. Okay.
Al, you're going to be playing for Hunter Green. Hunter, I don't believe I've seen him comment much, but he left a good comment, and I'll bring some Facebook comments next week. So yeah, thanks everyone and again, we're drawing directly from people that are interacting with us on the face page. Okay, 4 questions tonight. Yeah, questions. A little dry mouth here. Hold on, Squoozy.
4.
Any movie trivia
or? Movia? No Movia tonight, Ron. Sorry, not in the docket. Movia. Okay. Question 1's all about road rage, and if you were at the early part of our show, you already heard my story about road rage. John Mark, tune in to find out.
Yeah, I think that's called manslaughter, really. If you would have hit him, I think it would be more like manslaughter.
Maybe if you're skateboarding into oncoming traffic on a fucking highway.
It's your fault. I'm just saying.
Depends on how clean you were weed-wise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was clean. Yeah. Okay. I'll fucking kill you. Okay. One Seattle man took road rage to a new level earlier this year when dash cam footage caught a dude throwing this into a car's windshield after a road rage incident that happened here in our own backyard. What did he throw into a car's windshield, all caught on dash cam? And I do have the video for you. Is it A Taco Bell cup full of urine?
Ugh.
Splish, splash.
By the way, I'm not a fan of the trend of TikTok videos of driving up to drive-thrus and just fucking with the people working there, throwing shit or pricking them. That's a terrible fucking trend.
Yeah.
These people are already living misery. I mean, oh my God.
Talk about poking the fucking snake with a stick. You want to get snapped? Yeah. They'll snap. And they can.
You want your nuggies, bitch?
You want my nuggies on your nuggies?
B. Did he throw a motherfucking axe into the windshield?
What junk?
Was it C? Did he throw a bowling ball through the windshield? Strike. Or was it D? A disarmed hand grenade.
Ooh.
Seem to be a lot of disarmed hand grenades that pop up in weird stories. Okay.
John Mark.
Well, you really give me a lot to think about here.
Indeed.
Taco Bell cup. Did you say a Taco Bell cup full of piss?
I sure did. You bet your sweet ass I did, John Mark.
And this was where? Seattle?
Seattle, motherfucker.
Anything goes.
Axe, Taco Bell cup, axe,
bowling ball, a disarmed hand grenade.
Well, whereabouts in Seattle? Was it downtown?
Can't give you any more
Was
information.
it by a Taco Bell or a bowling alley?
Close to an axe factory.
Fuck it, I'm going to Taco Bell cup full of
Axe
pee.
factory. I like the idea of a bunch of axes coming down an assembly line.
Yeah.
Gotta happen
Maybe
somewhere.
Down for A.
Sportsman outlet.
Now that I think about it, that sounds like a really convoluted way to throw something at somebody, but fuck it, I'm sticking with it.
Was that the Taco Bell of piss? Or the cup of piss? Okay.
Taco Bell of piss, indeed.
Fuck, total guess. The bowling ball's ringing true to me. Maybe that is 2 on the nose. An axe and I'm sorry, I got the piss, the axe, the bowling ball. What was the other one?
Disarmed hand grenade. How could you forget?
Disarmed hand grenade. Fuck. I'm gonna. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the bowling ball.
Okay.
You see someone just like carrying their bag to their league, and then like opportune he came along. By the way, did I tell you guys about the woman that threw the bowling ball in the garbage can down at Fred Meyer? Did I talk about that on the show?
I don't think so. What the fuck are you talking about?
So this was weird and not really much of a story, but think about this. So the little garbage cans at at a typical gas station, this was down at Fred Meyer, just like they got that faux stonework on them. You pull that lid off and it's just a bag. They're just garbage cans. Yeah. This lady pulled up right behind me. I was pumping gas. She didn't even pump gas. She just pulled up right behind me, like she was going to pump gas. She got out. She stood. I noticed when people are like being shifty and shady. She was like looking around, and she got back in her car, and I was like, oh, did she? In my head, I was like, she must have realized that her nozzle was on the other, the cap was on the other side.
Oh yeah.
Thinking she was going to drive around, but then she gets out again. She looks shady again, and then I'm like, I got my Ray-Ban or my Ray-Bans on, so I'm doing like the pulling my eyes out of my socket sideways thing, but facing a different direction as I'm watching. It's like she's up to something, and then she goes into her passenger side and grabs a bowling ball, and she's again like just looking around, all shifty and shady, and then she drops it in the garbage can, shuts the door, runs around to the other side, and drives off, staring at me the whole time. And I'm like, I know it's a bowling ball, but she made it look like she just dropped a bomb ready to go off at this fucking gas station. And I drove off, and I was like, look, I don't know why, but just letting you know, this lady just dropped a bowling ball off in the garbage can. And I swear to God, he just looked at me. He's like, his mouth was open and his eyes were squinted, that thing. And I'm looking, waiting for some kind of reciprocation. And I'm like, all right. He couldn't register what I was saying. And looking back on it, I was like, yeah, I guess why would I stop to tell him? Why would she stop to drop a bowling ball off in the garbage can? Anyway, completely pointless A-side there, but it was a weird experience. Just like, who has a bowling ball in the front seat? It wasn't in a bag. It wasn't like a ball and a few trophies, like she just kicked her fucking husband out of the house, who's a bowler.
Well, right. That's what I was
ball.
gonna say. Is like she probably was like pissed off at somebody. It's like, fuck this guy and his bowling. I'll show him. Or maybe she had like a serious bowling addiction, and she just like, this is how I have to end this addiction to bowling.
A bowling addiction. And then she had to just go cold turk up in the garbage can on pump 4.
Real turk.
Oh boy. Yeah. Well, anyway, weird.
Yeah.
Or something really more like, tragic, but let's not go there.
I'm telling you, man, the things you see when you're just paying attention.
Yeah.
So many of us aren't.
Yeah. A bowling ball would be pretty tough to chuck. It's they're not light. I'm gonna go with the axe.
Ooh, okay, Lyle, going manly. Just fucking
I have
all over the place.
I'm kind of manly.
I keep in my glove compartment just in case.
I do actually keep one behind the seat, but it's not.
You keep an axe behind your seat?
I
might have a can of axe somewhere rolling around the back of my van.
Well, it's a truck. I have my work tools in the back too, so
yeah.
I usually have a machete and some other stuff back there too. But it's not for like.
It makes me feel like I need to have an axe in my car. Why don't I have an axe behind my seat? It's probably going to end up in not working in my fave.
Hey,
pick up a hitchhiker. Y'all be sure not to use that axe back there on me now. I didn't think that.
Please and thank you. Okay, guys. Question 2 is not only a listener submitted question, but it's also a motherfucking Florida Daily Double.
Holy shit!
So we're gonna make this worth 3 points.
Oh, 3.
We're gonna make it worth 3. I don't want to get too cruisy.
Florida Daily Trips.
No doubt. Jeffrey Hall, thank you so much for emailing this over to me. And as always, please email those to me at christopher.bizarre@gmail.com.
Oh, hold on.
Don't be shy.
Hold on. How's it going to go? It's going to go like this. It's going to go triple point.
Perfect, man. Thank you.
I love that. That sounds like old ham radio pirate stuff. Yeah, that is good. Do one more time, and then we'll go back into it.
One more cut.
It's good.
What do you?
I want a clean cut so I can sample it. Go ahead.
But what do you want me to say?
Same way.
Same thing you just
triple take.
What? So it's worth 3 points?
I love that he's choking on the spot.
Triple points. Do
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Triple point.
Wait, all right. Well, maybe try to get that triple. Instead of a double, triple. Let's do take 3, Lyle.
Point.
All right.
Yeah, one
You
more
got
time.
this, baby. You're golden.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, okay, wait. No, let's try this again. Christopher's triple point, take 4.
This is worth triple points.
Oh, it's not. That's just,
Yeah.
Try again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Max headroom.
This is worth triple points.
You did not do exactly what we asked you to do, which was exactly what you did the first time.
It's amazing how different it gets. Yeah.
It's
like
all right.
I have a telephone, and it's only him.
Triple points.
All right, we're going with take one. Take one is the master.
Singular game of
Fuck it.
telephone game for one.
Okay, we're doing it live.
It's a good effect. All right, I think we got it somewhere in there. We'll just have him do it live every
my
time. How
God.
about that? We don't need a sample.
Yeah, that's the best way.
Keep that one
Oh
on
my
standby. That's a good one.
Triple points.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
I compose myself, Lyle.
Yeah.
Okay. Lemon face, lime face. Okay.
We'll get the void quarter too.
3 points.
I'm in trouble.
Or triple points, Lyle. Because he's fucking off. Do we have one job, Lyle? One
Triple.
fucking job. All right. Florida man was arrested earlier this year for abducting this, slapping it around a little, and then attempting to throw it on top of the roof of her liquor store. He told authorities he did it. Nope. He told authorities he did this all because he was trying to teach it a lesson. What did he abduct, slap around a bit, and then try to throw up on a liquor store rooftop because he was trying to teach it a lesson?
Wow. This is a question.
Was it his mother's collection of eccentric garden gnomes?
Oh, you got to keep them bitches in line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's okay. That's the one to beat.
Was it B, alligator?
It is Florida.
You threw it up on the roof? I guess sometimes they can be small. That's how you teach an alligator a lesson. You ain't going to teach it a lesson on the ground. No, he's got to learn on the roof, son. That's how we do it. Yeah, it's good.
Does it C, his high school's mascot outfit?
Oh, okay.
Or was it D, his father-in-law?
All
Again,
right. Two living
what
things.
did he slap around? Yeah. Slap around. Abduct, first off, slap around. And then try to throw on top of a liquor store rooftop because, quote, want to teach them a lesson. Was it his mother's collection of garden gnomes, an alligator, his high school's mascot outfit, or his father-in-law? John Mark.
Tough.
Well, I'm going straight to alligator, but
Oh, that's a fucking smart choice.
but I know, but it's like it seems like it's too obvious, right? But fuck, that's just what I'm going with.
That old trick.
I mean, 3 points. 3 points are on the line. I don't blame you for going safe.
I like the
Yeah,
alligator.
that's true. You boy, you really got to think this one through.
Monster.
There's an
Oh, he went.
alligator,
You went with the alligator?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I was thinking the alligator too, but then John Mark was kind of talking me out of it. But then he went with it.
Drive me around alligator. The alligator.
Do we know where this was?
What's your heart
oh,
telling
this was Florida. See,
Florida.
that might be the green herring.
Right?
Fuck. I feel like strategically, I need to go with John Mark here. I'm thinking strategically because 3 point. I feel like am I doing that right? The game's young for that kind of move. I think my brain is thinking it right. Where strategically, I might be better off going with him no matter what, even if he loses. But I really want to see him teaching a bunch of garden gnomes a lesson. But the thing that's tripping me up is that he tried to throw it on the roof. Doesn't say that he successfully threw it up on the roof. I think he'd get those gnomes up there. A gator, father-in-law, struggling. I'm gonna go with gator. I'm gonna stick with John.
Costume. He could probably get up there. You know.
I was.
You going with gator?
That's a good one too. I'm gonna go with John Mark. Yeah, gator.
I went the gator. Okay, Lyle.
Triple gator toss. I knew he was looking for the right sound.
The new sound. We're gonna go with the mascot, boys and girls.
Interesting. You're gonna go see the mascot outfit.
You know why?
Tell me why, Lyle.
There's a lot of TikTok videos and stuff, and to see somebody smacking around a high school mascot, I could see it as like a successful TikTok going up in views. So.
Boy, I feel really lost when I see TikTok and Reels most of the time.
And then trying to on the roof, you know.
What the fuck is this? Why are there 1,000 videos with that little bite from that song?
Very popular.
I'm so confused.
Very popular.
I'm so old. I don't get it.
Ending.
I don't get you kids.
It's an ending that ends really sad.
I know, but
watch it to figure it out.
We're weird people. All right, let's move on.
Okay, question 3. Earlier this year, a California man was arrested for being in possession of a shit ton of child pornography. We're talking like thousands of images that he'd been downloading since 2004. He was arrested after someone filed a tip that he had it with the police. Who filed the tip? Was it A, mother, who stumbled on the porn when she was cleaning his home?
Yeah, boy.
When she was cleaning his hard drive.
Yeah, they can. The B, a Best Buy Geek Squad team member who had come to help fix the man's computer.
Happens all the time.
Is it C, criminal who'd actually broken into his home to rob him and found the data, the pictures?
That's an amazing story.
Or is it D, the man himself who had called the police while sleepwalking to turn himself in?
Well, that was an amazing story until the sleepwalking. That's a twist.
Yeah. One of these things happened, and he was arrested and is now in prison. What was it? Again, who called in the tip? His mother, a Best Buy Geek Squad team member, burglar, or himself?
I'm going with the burglar.
Going with the burglar. Okay, I'm gonna put you down for C.
Yeah.
I'm going with Mr. C. I guess it could be Mrs. C, I guess, but whatever.
Yeah.
Monster?
God, I was leaning toward that too. I kind of want to reward D, even if it's not true. I know I shouldn't be playing that way. But the funny thing about the Best Buy thing is what you hear all the time. John Mark, you want to mute your...
No muting.
Takis back.
I'm eating autumn mix now.
Is it the candy corn and pumpkin?
Pumpkin.
It's amazing that you had some on your shelf, and I just gave you the history. Yeah, well, we've all seen those pumpkins our whole life, but I had no idea that it was part of a bigger collection back in the day. The thing with the Best Buy that always gets me is unless you have like child porn on your fucking desktop listed or a folder that says kiddie porn folder, what always gets me is that these motherfuckers are just snooping through your fucking computer and they find your videos, they find your pictures, they're looking. That never really comes up. You always hear, we were just doing some maintenance. It's like, no, you fucking weren't. We all know how computers work. We all know how things are. It's like, I'm happy that somebody with child porn on their computer is in prison. Don't get me wrong, but it is a funny thing that a lot of people don't think about. When you take your computer in to get it looked at, just know they're going through all your shit. And it's hilarious that people that know they have child porn on their computer would ever take it in to get fixed in the first place. Like, well, that one's dead. Time to drive it to the bottom
That
of
doesn't surprise me at all. People are fucking
You're right.
sometimes.
You're right. God, I don't want to piggyback off John Mark again. I am leaning toward that it was the burglar, but I am gonna reward Christopher's made up answer if that's what it is, and go that he sleepwalked calls. I don't think that's what it is, but I love that fucking answer. I gotta chase it.
All right. Okay. All right.
Would that
Lyle,
be amazing?
where are you gonna go?
The Best Buy thing is kind of what I wanted to go with when I first, you first came out with the answers, and because it kind of makes sense because there's certain searches. Yeah, well, there's certain searches you could literally just search up photos or videos.
Yeah,
like MPEGs, and they'll run through your entire computer.
Anybody
and then
can
show
do that. Don't got to be an expert. You just use Windows. You just look. Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's like, yeah, you're gonna get caught if you're gonna have that kind of sensitive stuff on your computer, taking it in. But Ron just put a new twist on it. That if it was a burglar, what if that burglar got caught doing something else and said, "Hey, there's a guy that I fucking kind of broke into his house the other way, and fucking he had all his porn on his computer. Here's his laptop right here. They take it.
Now, technically,
for
he's in
like a less percent. So I'm going with burglar. I think.
Burglar too.
Yeah, hadn't thought about that angle.
Okay.
And let's be honest, criminals aren't criminals across the board. It's just because somebody broke into your fucking house doesn't mean that they are down with child porn.
Yeah, true.
Complicated world.
Okay, let me do some quick scorekeeping here. Okay. Oh, interesting stuff. All right, question 4. This famous actor gave an interview recently where he admitted that he contemplated killing his own dad to avenge the abuse their mother suffered during his childhood. He was quoted saying, "No one would ever believe I killed my father on purpose. I'm one of the best actors in the world. My 911 call would be Academy Award level." He's quoted saying this. Was it Will Smith? Robert Redford, Christopher Walken, Anthony Hopkins. I look for Christopher Walken news, or occasionally throw him in there just to hear Lyle.
He does come up.
He was walking.
Let's give us a little bit of that, Lyle.
You got to know it's been a while.
Sorry, I don't recognize his voice without you starting with your traditional.
You gotta say his name.
It's Walken.
Walking around the Christmas tree.
Walking around.
Walking around.
Very Christopher Walken Christmas.
Yeah, you just have to think you're a little,
John Mark, what are you going to go with?
Well, where's all the options again?
Will Smith, Robert Redford, Christopher Walken, or Anthony Hopkins?
Shit. I don't really know anything about any of their family lives when they were younger.
Yeah.
I feel like he might have just thrown Anthony Hopkins in there because he played Hannibal Lecter.
Don't know me.
fairly eclectic mix.
Robert Redford, geez.
Yeah, that's an interesting one for me.
Yeah.
Ribbon, excuse.
Will Smith.
He may be the one that's most out of left field.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tricky.
What did he say again? What was his quote?
No one would ever believe I killed my father on purpose. I'm one of the best actors in the world. My 911 call would be Academy Award level.
I'd love to know what cued them to say this.
Yeah.
Academy Award
goes to myself.
Me. I'd like to thank me.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go with Will Smith.
Go with Will Smith. Okay.
Yeah.
Beat up for A. Will Smith, welcome to Earth.
I was leaning toward that too, but I'm also leaning toward. Fuck. I'm gonna go with Christopher Walken.
Walken.
It's probably
Wait out for
Will,
a seat.
but I'm just dying to know the setup. Why would you say that at all? There had to be a cue.
Okay, Lyle.
You got to understand how long I held that. Wash my ass. I wish I knew the whole thing because that'd be great, but I don't.
This watch. That's honestly, that might be my favorite part of Pulp Fiction. That little segment, so bizarre, so fucking funny. It might be my favorite part of Pulp Fiction.
Pretty good.
I'm gonna go with. It's gonna probably surprise you, but I'm gonna go with Will Smith.
With Will Smith.
I think you guys might be right.
He's a very. I think he could be a very vengeful kind of a person. I think. In his real life.
That's the most newsworthy, and he's got a new movie out that I'm looking forward to seeing. Actually, I'm kind of fascinated with the Williams sisters. I don't know if you've seen the previews of this, but he plays their dad. Interesting story.
They've been pushing his daughter too with her music. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it's being pushed like on Instagram. She's a pretty good singer. She's not bad. It's a little R&B, kind of.
Did you know the Will and Jada is it Jada Pinkett Smith? Yeah, that's right. He and his wife are in an open relationship.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff about him in the news and revelations and whatnot. So
I should have gone with Will Smith, but I'm sticking with Walken. I'm sticking with the watch, and I'm keeping it up my ass till you find out I'm wrong.
All right. I think I have everyone's answer.
He seems the type of a person that would, avenge his family. Like he really cares about his. Have you ever been in a, if you've ever had family life like that, it's one of those things that it's. I could see him being, kind of, quiet about it, but then coming out about it later.
I feel like I may be making this up, but I feel like I remember him actually saying something like it when he was in the TV show, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that he bonded with. I can't remember the actor's name that played Uncle Phil. But I feel like there might be something in there where it's like he was the dad I never had. I could be making that up, but any old who. Let's see what we got.
Okay, question one. We've all had a little road rage from time to time. Am I right?
Well, some more frequent than or recent than others.
Huh? One Seattle man took it to a new level when a dash cam footage caught a dude throwing this into a car's windshield after a road rage incident. And I'm going to send it right over to you right now over Facebook Messenger, y'all.
A video daily double.
There's no real audio on this, FYI.
Okay, so we'll give it a play here. Don't nobody spoil it until it's. Oh, holy shit! I'll let you guys watch it. I don't want to spoil it for you. Wow! And then he just gets.
Nah, fucking.
See, this is what I'm talking about, man.
Was indeed an axe.
He threw a fucking axe at the windshield. It went to the passenger side. It looks like, but it
tomahawk
it pierced his window.
Yeah, I'm like, it could have killed someone for sure.
Like he probably just.
That's how you do it, Love.
He had one in his car. These people are out there, man. I'm telling you.
I had a hatchet in my car forever, but it was more like it was in the trunk, and it was like in case I was like out in the woods and needed it for something or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's what mine's for splitting wood.
I can't tell if his license plate was clear in that camera, not in this version of the video.
They ended up apprehending the guy.
Found him.
Working it up. Yeah.
Yeah, he can't do that. He's in trouble.
Yeah, that's a no-no, bro. Lyle, you got that correct for a point, baby. You're starting things off strong.
I'm telling you guys, just take a deep breath and just take it. I know it sucks when someone's fucking with you, when someone's like purposefully, and they're going out of their way to just fuck with you. They know nothing about you. They're just like, fuck you. I'm going to fuck your shit up. Just let it go best you can, because the shit it fucking happens, man. Way worse than this happens every fucking day. We've all seen the compilations of road rage shit. Like, whew, just don't go there. Make it home alive.
Okay. Gosh, guys, question 2 was not only Florida Daily Double, but it was also a listener submitted question. So it's worth not 1 point.
Lyle.
Not 2 points.
But
It was worth 3 points.
there we go. It was like some Sig Sputnik delay.
Nailed it. First try. Okay. 3 points on the line here. Okay. Florida man was arrested after he abducted an alligator from a mini golf course.
An alligator. Okay.
Smacked it around a bit and then attempted to throw it on top of a liquor store roof to teach it a lesson.
What did it do to him?
I don't know. Nobody can get it out of him, but I'm sure alcohol was involved. But my other favorite part about this was the alligator was from a mini golf course. Like
that's what I was thinking. On purpose?
It was like in a contained. Yes, it's like a containment in the middle of the course where an alligator resides.
It's on display.
So
it's not going to come
Florida.
get anybody. It's just.
Oh fucking! Maybe it ate his ball.
Florida really does live up to Florida.
Awesome.
It's Florida.
Oh man. Ron and John Mark got that correct for 3 points a pop. So it's 3-1 right now, Lyle. But anything's still possible as we move on to question 3.
Interesting.
Earlier this year, a California man was arrested for being in possession of a massive amount of child pornography. He was busted after the police got a tip from who came into the police station and admitted that they were burglaring this man, and they'd found it was all this pornography, and they were disgusted by it. So I think they got some kind of plea deal out of it. They didn't have to serve anything. But it wasn't. They were caught first, and then copped to something. They came to the police.
They still did the right thing ahead of it. Interesting, knowing they would probably get leniency.
Some kind of thing, yeah.
That's really interesting.
It was actually a couple of young guys too, like early 20s, so they were young men. But so he's in prison now. Yay. Okay, John Mark and Lyle got that correct, which means John Mark has 4 points. Lyle has 2. Monster has 3.
Interesting. Anything's possible. Maybe it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
This famous actor gave an interview recently where he admitted that he contemplated killing his own dad to avenge the abuse her mother had suffered during his childhood. He said, "No one would ever believe I killed my father on purpose. I'm one of the best actors in the world. My 911 call would be Academy Award level," and it was Will Smith.
Damn it!
Just so many. They've been lots of revelations coming from the Smith family as of late.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why, but John Mark and Lyle got that correct. So Lyle, you did great, buddy. You got 3 points. John Mark just had 4. Ron Strassel had 3 because of that triple point he got, because it was the only answer he got right this time. But Cheryl Martin.
My strategy held up, though, right? Like,
I mean, if you'd done it,
if I'd done it, sure. Yeah, I only needed one more answer.
Almost there. Almost there to bring it to the tie.
Yeah.
So Cheryl, congratulations. You will be you are the first to enter this next wave of championship round. Goodness.
I wonder if child porn is like drugs or some other things where where it matters how much is there. I wonder if they would.
Oh, I don't know
if they could get you on a similar thing like intent to distribute, because having child porn versus distributing child porn, they're 2 very different things. Way bigger of a crime if you're distributing it. But I wonder if they can get you on intent just because you have so many, or if it's a bigger charge. I don't know.
If you have your computer set up to be transmitted to, so you could pair off your computer. There's a setting in your computer you could do it. Like me and you could have our computers linked.
Yeah.
I wonder if would be cause for that. Maybe distributing. I don't know. It's a weird thing.
Sure. I see what you're saying. Interesting. That could be a loophole. Yeah. I suppose that if it went from his ISP to somebody else's ISP, they probably could have got him on that. Yeah. Interesting. Technology.
I was watching this fucking Twitch show yesterday, and they were watching a YouTube video. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this show or not, but it was basically people that love their cars. I mean, like they're physically love their cars.
Oh yeah.
And it's just these two guys, and they go like down to New Mexico or whatever to meet and talk about their love for each other's what they do. It's the audio. Yeah, literally. I mean, they like they treat their car like it's precious, but they're lovers with their cars. It was the strangest thing I've ever fucking seen in my life. And there's a part in it where one of the older dude actually has sex with his car.
Hey, at least that's a victimless crime, right?
Oh,
you might stain the interior.
Mm-hmm. Dude, he had sex with other people's car in the parking lot.
Oh, now see, that's an offense.
Mr. Keys.
Mr. Keys. I get it. And still risky. Not as risky as getting fucked by a horse, but fucked by horsepower.
God.
There was Saturday Night Live did a skit on that like 20 fucking years ago. You remember that? I feel like it was, what was that actor's name? And he's like, and now you finally can love your car. Introducing the Lincoln Mistress. And there was a little, like the logo on the back could be pushed aside. And then they went like, they blurred it out, but it was clearly like a pink vagina. And the dude was fucking his car. Oh, good shit. Fucking your car. Well, shit. Another damn near 3-hour episode. I guess this is the way of the future. We got to get in on this live stream shit. That's why we're not growing. Everybody is fucking live streaming. We have to start cultivating a live audience that can sit in with us, comment in real time, and it would change some. I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be our only show, but we got to start doing it more.
I agree.
At all,
we got to figure this out.
We're set up for it. We figured it out. We got it dialed in. We just need to figure out what the show will be like, because so much of what we do, it kind of needs to be edited and chopped up as the format that we do it in now. But we can tailor it to be live, and we've done live shows. We can just figure out how to keep that going, and maybe that in and of itself will inform some new directions where we need to take the show after 10 years of basically doing the same thing. But because I've been watching a ton of fucking live streamers, and they're not that great. And so many of them have like hundreds of thousands. I don't have delusions of any of this anymore. Not anymore. I used to. Not anymore. I understand we're probably never going to get there, but I do think we can grow the audience. But more importantly, I do think that we can cultivate more of that reciprocation, more of that feedback. If people can know that once a week or once a month, we're going to do, even if it's just a half hour or an hour, or just live stream. We could be looking at other videos, commenting on them. That's all the rage. And that's easy to do. We don't have to do a lot of research for it. We just pull up the shit and start talking. But I want to talk live. I want to reach out to our audience, even if it's just 5 of you hanging out with us. So we'll look into doing that very soon, I think. And we also want to still get into some of the gaming shit too. That's even easier. You guys just play the games and we shoot the shit. But if we can get emulators set up where I can play like Mega Man 2 and we can shoot the shit, I can be involved with playing the games. I kick ass at some of those older games. I know it's hard to believe that Ronster was once a pretty hardcore gamer, but I really was. And I'm still good at a lot of those classic
There's
games.
a game I would love for all of us to play. It's called, God, what the hell is it called? It's a ghost hunting game. It's called,
Ghostbusters from NES?
No,
Fatal Frame?
No. I'm going to dial it up. I'm going to try to find it real quick. Phantasm or some Phantasm.
Is that the old one? The super old one?
No, dude. It's a VR game. But you don't need to be in VR to play it. You can play it on your desktop. You can play it on your laptop. You can play it wherever. It's meant specifically to play in VR, which is scary as fuck.
That shit makes me nauseous.
You're a ghost hunter. You go around hunting ghosts, and you try to figure out what the ghosts are and what type of ghosts they are by using different tools that you have at that are available to you. It's called Phantasma or something. I don't know. It's pretty cool though.
Well, anyway, all shit we need to just start doing. We're about to head into winter. What better time to do it? People are hunkering down, getting cozy, spend an eve or an afternoon even with us just shooting the shit.
This would be
current world topics. There's so many things. There are so many news stories that I've wanted to talk about with you guys that we just haven't gotten to. I mean, the Alex Baldwin thing, this fucking Astroworld thing. There's still some weirdness with the Brian Laundrie situation. We still haven't even got that autopsy officially back, or the real DNA testing. I'm pretty sure it's him, but there's lots of that stuff that I'd love to cover too, and I think that would be an interest to a broader range of audience as well as our loyal fans. But we'll get to that. Anywho, let's get on out of here for now. Tune in next week. We will be talking about 9/11. We will also be talking about your guys' record picks.
Perfect. I love it.
Did you guys see that link I just sent? It's through chat.
I saw something pop up in
Skype.
Shazam. Skype. By the way, John Mark, have you not been using Shazam? You texted at the group the other day what the best audio capture software is. I mean, Shazam is the gold standard as far as I know.
I honestly don't normally need to use anything like that, but
oh my God, I use it so often.
Because I usually know what everything is, or I can figure it out pretty quickly.
I see.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. But there's, shit sometimes that comes on that I've never
shit's
heard.
beneath him.
I've literally never heard before. And the other day we're in the car and Jem was listening to this radio station that was playing a bunch of stuff that I think it's like a college station out of Olympia or something maybe. Mm-hmm. And they were playing a bunch of like this kind of indie stuff that like I hadn't heard, and the song came on and we're like, what is that? And I was like, fucking no idea. And like, with like KEXP and stuff, like you can get like a playlist online. So if you're not sure, and then the DJ says all the time too, like going back, and they list off everything they played.
They never say it when you need it, right?
Exactly.
That's how radio has always been. And that was the Beatles with "Let It Be." Yeah. But what was the fucking obscure song before that? You butt fuck.
Yeah, this station didn't say anything at all, and it's just like, I was like, I wish I had one of those apps right now. That's kind of why I brought it up.
Yeah, Shazam should always be in your pocket. So Lyle sent the link. It's Phasmophobia, and that'd be fun to do one of these stormy, snowy evenings.
Well, get this. The AI in this game is actually intelligent. So like, if you're looking for a ghost, you say it'll tell you who it is, like in your van that's outside the house. Say it's like Bob, Clark. So
director of Porky's.
you would walk around the house with an EVP recorder and go, Bob, are you here? Are you here? And it'll actually talk to you, but it only do it if you call him by his name.
And Bob puts his wiener through the shower.
It's really fucking cool, but it's scary as shit. If you're in VR, it's scary as fuck. But you play it. I think your laptop could probably handle it. It's not that taxing on.
I'm on my Mac now. Have you guys seen any of the videos of the old Legend, like the original Legend of Zelda, but the Japanese version that came out on the Famicom? And the Famicom,
I don't remember.
The Famicom had on the controls, it had a little microphone on it. Because some of their games, they worked in like voice commands. There are voice commands that you can use with Zelda if you have the Famicom that will kill certain enemies, like the Pole's. I think it might be the Pole's voice. That would make sense. The voice is right in the name. You just say their name or something, and they die on screen. All of them. Out of its time. Anyway, good Lord, let's get out of here. We'll talk soon. Night, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Bye.
Triple point.
Perfect, man. Thank you.
I love that. That sounds like
Great.
old ham radio pirate stuff. Yeah, that is good. Do one more time, and then we'll go back into it.
One more for cut.
It's good.
What do you?
I want a clean cut so I can sample it. Go ahead.
But what do you want me to say?
Same way. Same way.
Yeah,
Same thing you just
triple take.
What? One's worth 3 points.
I love that he's choking on the spot.
Triple points. Do
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
Just
All right.
yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Triple point.
Wait, all right. Well, maybe try to get the triple. Instead of a double, triple. Let's do take 3, Lau.
Point.
All right.
Yeah, one
You
more
got
time.
this, baby. You're golden.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, okay, wait. No, let's try this again. Christopher's triple point. Take 4.
This is worth triple points.
Oh, it's not. That's just. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Max headroom.
This is worth triple points.
You did not do exactly what we asked you to do, which was exactly what you did the first time.
It's amazing how different it gets. Yeah.
It's
like
all
I
right.
give him a telephone, and it's only him.
Triple points.
All right, we're going with take 1. Take 1 is the master.
Singular game of
Fuck it.
telephone game for one.
Okay, we're doing it live.